right now, Iconoclast is playing on the Xbox 360 port, whereas, from my understanding, most of his practice with the game is from emulation, and there's a number of significant differences. The port runs faster, and it has some input lag.
Yep.
And both of those things are significant cause for concern. So he's been practicing with it for the last few days, and seems like he's pretty confident that he'll be able to demonstrate the game to the best of his ability. But certainly, there's still some hesitancy, based around playing the port instead of the emulated or PCB copy of the game.
Yes, and for my 1-all that I did for Slam 3, I had to play on the port as well, because it wasn't because there's rules against it in Slam, but because I had to stream the event and play the game, and it would have thrown off the whole stream for me to try and emulate it while streaming the event. So I was like, crap, I'll just have to play it on the port then. Yeah, there's certain areas where it's very significantly obvious that it's faster, especially stage 5. You're like, holy crap, we are hauling ass. So I fear for Iconoclast a little bit here. I have no idea what it looks like in the second loop, though. Who knows how that's gonna shake out?
It's something. It is really something.
So the reason, though, in Shmupmania that they don't allow for, I think he usually plays on Shmupmania, is they don't allow emulation, which is a sad thing, but it is what it is. I had to play in Shmup Relay. I had to play on the 360 port of Guange, and I wasn't. It's like the same problem. It runs faster and it has more lag, so I feel Iconoclast pain, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into any of the, politics and speculation about why they may or may not be enforcing no emulation, but it is what it is, and certainly that will have potential impact on the players. So, I'm curious what aっすぃis playing on. It seems like it might be the PCB.
It looks like it, yeah. It does look like it. Maybe he's secretly playing on a PGM, and they don't know.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding. Aren't they in the arcade? From what I know, yeah, they're like sitting in the arcade. So this is JHA certified on the right side.
Here we go. Yeah, I guess looks like the players are both queued up now. So very brief introduction to some kind of basic concepts for DaiOuJou. Similar to other Dodonpachi and Dodonpachi games, there is a shot and laser that the player can use. The shot is more effective at maintaining a combo on smaller, weaker enemies, like popcorn enemies, and is also able to cover a larger area of the screen and allows the player to move faster. The laser can maintain a chain on larger enemies, but it maintains it at just barely above the level where the chain will fail. Of course, the chain being the number of consecutive hits essentially that you get onto enemies within a small time window between each hit. Think of it sort of like a combo in a fighting game. You have a timer that runs down, and if it hits 0, then it drops.
I think it was inspired by Street Fighter 2, from what I remember, in the Dodonpachi days.
That would seem realistic. Both players here are going for a really early hyper setup, which is pretty common in Black Label scoring runs. So they're going to want to time this hyper right on top of the big cannon there. Like you just saw, Iconoclast just destroyed that big cannon. And that timing allows the hyper to end just before they collect a B that's hidden on the right here. Iconoclast is going to go grab it in just a moment. So the hyper just ended, now picks up that B. The reason you want to pick up the B after the hyper ends is because picking up the hidden Bs, which can be uncovered with the laser, will only contribute to your hyper meter if you collect it while you're not in a hyper. If you collect the B while you're currently in hyper, it will not give you any bonus. And it's a very significant bonus that scales with the number of hits in your combo chain. So if you have 300 or more hits, you get a 30% bonus to your combo. Actually, 200 or more, sorry. I believe it's 200. And you do not get any bonus if you are at less than 20. So you need at least 20 hits to get any tangible benefit from the B collection. Both players here looking like they're going to be full chaining 1-1. aっすぃcoming out with 42 million, which is pretty much right where you want to be. 40 million or above for Black Label is like a very solid stage 1. And Iconoclast, 41. There you go. Now, it looks like aっすぃis setting up a delay and point-blank hyper strat here. Yep, there you go. There's the hyper. What that allows you to do is get some extra hits off and uses the aura from the laser on those two kind of spinning pods to generate a bit of extra hyper. So the laser generates hyper a bit more quickly when you're point blanking because there's a small radius around your ship that will kind of rack up additional hits. That's useful for chaining, but also for hyper buildup. Now, as we delaying the kill to get 2 hypers out of it, if you kill it well, the 2 pods are spinning. It will drop 2 hypers. Otherwise, if you kill the side pods while they're not spinning, it will only drop 1 hyper. So he's going to be heading into stage 2 with 2+2 hypers, which is pretty much exactly where both players are going to want to be. And looks like Iconoclast following very shortly behind there. Now, opening of stage 2. Oh, I see. So he was actually at just barely under 2+2 and got hit. Probably a reset right there.
Yeah.
We'll see. So at the start of stage 2, there's a couple different ways to approach this. Yeah, it looks like both players actually doing a 3 and then like 95% of the hyper. That's kind of cool. That's neat timing for setting up chaining in the later part of the stage. So there, you delay activating the hyper until right when the enemies are sort of filling the screen and they're about to scroll off the bottom. That's for a couple reasons. First of all, that allows you to get a whole bunch of hits off on all those enemies by not attacking them and damaging any of them before activating the hyper. But secondly, it allows you to use the hyper for the link that Iconoclast just performed there, which if you try to do hyperless is very, very precisely timed. Hyper extends your chain timer by about another 100%, makes the total time you have between hits about double, which makes it much easier to combo through certain areas.
Absolutely.
And again, delaying these B pickups as long as possible, both for the hyper buildup and also for score, because the B has a point value that's multiplied by your current hit count. So it's always advantageous to pick them up as late as possible for score.
The nice part about
as long as you don't drop your chain.
The nice part about the hyper system too is it allows you to be a little bit more flexible and creative with your chain routing compared to the original Dodonpachi, where you basically are pretty locked into between the Bs and the chains, a pretty specific route. But
Absolutely.
Feels like in DaiOuJou you have a lot more sort of creative freedom to figure out, different ways to route and chain the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think at kind of low and intermediate levels of play, there's a lot of freedom in what you're trying to do in DaiOuJou, because as you said, the hyper gives you much more flexibility with how and when to approach things. Hang on here. Iconoclast is setting up now for a cool scoring trick. So the hitbox of that bunker that just went off the screen on the bottom right, it actually becomes invulnerable once it goes partially off the screen. Again, here on the bottom left, he's doing
yes.
it. Yep. And you can grind that for extra hits. So that has a few different names. There's like aura grinding. I call it the afterburner. Yeah, it's an interesting technique that we'll see applied a few times throughout the run. Stage 2, it's pretty safe to set up, but several of the later applications of it are going to be very, very dangerous. But yeah, at kind of the beginner and intermediate level, DaiOuJou has a lot more flexibility for routing because of the hyper system. But at the high level, once you start developing a route that relies on specific hyper timings, it ends up still being very, very strict. Because
ain't that how it goes, right? Once you start getting the upper levels, no matter what system you come up with, there's just a right way to do it a lot of the time.
Nice hyper build up here on the stage 2 boss. Hypering stage 2 boss can be a little threatening because the bullets come much more quickly, but it also allows you to speed kill it and can build up hyper very, very fast. So you saw there, looks like 2.25 hypers built up, starting with just a couple hypers into it.
What's fun is on Black Label, it's actually, I feel like it works really well to fight that thing with hyper, because sometimes on Black Label the rank is so low and the bolts are so slow it almost can feel harder, that stage 2 boss, because it's just the bolts are just on screen forever.
Yeah, I would actually say that the first phase of Byakko, the stage 2 boss there, is easier with a hyperactive, because for that exact reason. Just get those stick bullets off the screen faster. Uh-oh, chain drop there from Iconoclast. I think he's going to continue to play it through.
Yeah, it was fairly early, so I mean it's not great, but it's not like stage over. It's kind of like we were talking about yesterday with Crimson Clover. You want to either drop your chain at the very beginning or at the very end, but if you drop it in the middle, that's where it just really hurts.
Right. Well, what makes it a little frustrating is that stage 1-3 is one of the trickiest parts of the entire game to full chain. This link here is going to attempt to chain through, into, and out of the mid-boss. So delaying the kill on that turret, activating a hyper, delaying the kill on the battleship, and yes! Got it! Nice! That is very, very, very precise.
It is very good chain.
And now, he's going to try to kill the mid-boss as it's firing those little balls, and then
Yeah,
kill the
chain
balls
off the
separately.
ball.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful.
And I always forget, is it Black Label or White Label that has the safe spot on that? I always forget which one it is. But one of them has a safe spot, but it didn't look like Icon did. Oh, shit, he dropped his chain.
Yeah, he dropped it just after the power-up carries after the mid-boss. Okay. That's all right. It was kind of an expected thing. He mentioned some concern about being able to pull that off. So his goal is just to score as high as he possibly can in a live setting like this, and of course, 2-all the game. So I'm sure that that's a bit of a disappointment, but just going to power through anyway. Still quite a bit of game left to go. And he has mentioned that if he makes a mistake, if he has a miss before the 1-4 boss, that might be a reset. So there's still a little bit of a chance for him to just pull the plug, reset the whole run.
Yeah, there's a little bit of timer meta, I feel like, in games like this where there's 2 loops. So you'll see in the top there, everyone, there's that timer, the reset timer. The thing you don't want to do is, let's say you keep making a mistake in stage 2 and you're just being really perfectionist about it and you keep resetting, and then you run out of reset timer, and then you get to stage 4 and blow like a huge chain, or you blow a much more significant mistake. Then you start to kick yourself and wonder, why was I resetting so much earlier? So I'm wondering if that's what Iconoclast is kind of doing, is unless he makes some real catastrophic mistake early on, he's going to kind of hold off on the reset until he gets to, like you were saying, stage 4 or 5.
Yeah. So now we just saw Iconoclast use a very fun safe spot there in the section with all the battleships kind of coming up at the same time. It's a really fun bit. Now the stage 3 boss, Genbu, famously difficult boss.
The turtle!
Kind of a meme in the STG Rev 2020 Discord. Yame Genbu.
Especially the second loop version.
Absolutely.
I actually really like the first loop version, personally. It's one of my favorite boss fights in the game. The first loop one.
Yeah, it's a really fun fight, but the final pattern is not pleasant.
It's so troll.
So hopefully this goes well here. This is another pattern that Iconoclast mentioned some specific concerns about.
Yeah. Holding on to that hyper.
Nice. Now, this is not ideal for his hyper routing. He wanted to have 1.9 hypers coming out of stage 3 in order for the stage 4 routes that he has planned. So we'll see if he has to make any on-the-fly adjustments. Could be that he's a little bit off in terms of hyper routing. Meanwhile, Asui looks like finally might have a run that is out of the reset hell. He seemed to be in there for a bit. Coming up now onto the end of stage 2 and looking to do the same afterburner strategy that we just saw from Iconoclast a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit earlier. I personally don't know anything about this player. I don't know what his potential score is or how optimized he is. I don't know anything, but so it'll be interesting to see him compared to Iconoclast when we get further on, how their routes will look.
Yeah, I mean, so far they're quite comparable. The routes that Asui's going for are very much on par with what you'd expect to see from high-level DaiOuJou Black Label play. So I'm curious to see where that develops and if things change in later parts of the run. So far, Iconoclast looking like his hits are a little bit lower than he would probably want at this point, which again I think has to do with the hyper generation coming out of stage 3 not quite being where it was. And again, that comes back to the chain drops.
Right, everything compounds on itself.
Yes, it's all layered. But now coming into probably the other most difficult part of the game to chain, the 1-4 trams. Now, this section is just extremely difficult to maintain a chain on Hyperless, and that is exactly what he needs to do here for scoring purposes. His route relies on keeping this Hyperless because it is much more profitable to do that and save your hypers for the section immediately after this. So far, doing a phenomenal job with it. Notice the really intentional delaying on some of these kills.
Yes,
and
that was
also
looking scary.
Yeah, this is really scary. Now he's got it now.
Yep.
Nice.
There you go.
The really tricky thing with the trams there is that the hitbox on the tram itself does not activate until after you've killed all of the enemies on top of it.
Right,
so
yeah.
You can use that intentionally in this case by delaying the kill on those smaller tanks on top and then going down for the tram itself. You can kind of set up an even longer delay than what you might normally be able to accomplish there.
And here comes the hidden extend.
Mm-hmm. This is another section that's kind of nerve-wracking if you're trying to full chain, because the shell casings that come down, their position is completely randomized, and you need to collect at least a couple of them to maintain a chain through this section. Looks like he's got it. Yeah,
Nicely
nice.
done.
All right, and now Asui also going for the chain through on 1-3.
Yeah, I want to see if he's able
he's
to
into
get
the
it.
mid boss. Man, this is brutal. Both players are really difficult sections here. Oh, Asui got it through.
Yeah, he got the chain.
Nice.
And now we're coming into, what do people call them? The rails? I always call them the zippers, but
I say rails.
yeah, I think I'm the only one who says that, but that's what it reminds me of.
Oh, and also we pulled it through. Oh, he's into the meat of stage 3 now. Nice. And Iconoclast made it through the rails there. I didn't really have time to comment on it because I was focusing on the Asui 1-3 chain through, but the rail section there is extremely challenging to chain through and to survive, actually, because the position on the rails that those turrets spawn at is completely randomized.
That's right.
The Zako are in a static pattern, but the turrets themselves are randomized. You always have to have a little bit of improvisation every time.
1-4
on
boss.
with the 1-4 boss here.
Yeah.
So far on a
boss.
really good pace, with the exception of the drops in stage 3. This has actually been a really solid run so far, and his hyper routing is right caught up to where it needs to be. He wants to be at like 1.7-ish hypers right now. That's pretty much directly where he is at the moment. Now we're probably going to see in the second phase him waiting for a specific drone formation. I'll call that out when we get to it. Meanwhile, Asui, full chain all the way through to the end here. Nice. So just to, oh, and there we go. There's the 3-3-3 drone pattern, popping that one hyper there, and now going to sit on top of those hypers, use that laser aura to build up additional hypers. So you see he's already built up 3 full hypers just from that one hyper activation against the drones. Right there, that's a really cool trick that he stopped lasering for a second to allow the boss to get into a more favorable position, and then continued lasering and used that. When you build a full hyper, you get a screen clear, right? And so he used that screen clear to cancel out a whole bunch of bullets that were on screen that he didn't want to have to dodge. So like just delaying the laser for just a half second there set him up much more favorably. Really cool strategy. Meanwhile, Asui finishing stage 1-3 with about it looks like almost 85 million more points than Iconoclast had at that point. And
right,
to show you
because he
how
got
important,
that chain, yeah.
Yeah, that chain is.
And it looks like he's coming in with the hypers that he needs coming into stage 4.
He grabbed all 5 of those hypers right away, and just very aggressive strategy where you rush up to the top of the screen, grab the hypers, and activate them immediately. If you mistime it or misalign it, it's extremely dangerous. And then using that to get a huge bonus to hit and his chain value right at the start of the stage. Now he's going to activate this hyper a little bit early. This is so that he uses this hyper to chain into the first mid-boss. I think this is Raiko. This is the Woomy boy.
Yep, this is a boss stage 4 from Dodonpachi coming back. So you get a boss rush from all the Dodonpachi bosses in this stage, which is really cool.
And the positioning there, if you sit kind of directly on top of Raiko like that, like Iconoclast did, the aura damage from the laser allows you to kill it more quickly. And the timing there with the hyper is pretty significant, because you want to kill it right as you collect the B, because that also puts you in the best position to carry through the chain combo onto some of the larger enemies that start spawning. So it's a very precisely timed thing.
Here we go into the bee honeycomb section.
Yeah, the beehive. This is all just, quote unquote, just cutbacks, but it's very difficult to manage everything that's going on here. And in particular, what we're going to see right here, Iconoclast is going to try not to damage this last bee, this last big bee here, and he's instead going to kind of do a big around the world with a hyper right there. Nice.
There you
go. And he's going to do another afterburner on this big bee throughout the entirety of this upcoming mid-boss fight.
Yeah, this is I always think of this like the signature one of the afterburners.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about it.
Although there's one a little bit later in this stage that's even more crazy. Chain drop on the trams from Asui.
Oh.
That's got to be disappointing.
See, you don't want that. Mid-stage, you do not want that.
Yeah, especially not right there, right before this very lucrative section of stage 4. Oof. Otherwise though, I mean, he still has some leg room because of the full chain on stage 3. So we'll see how the scores pan out.
And plus it's Dodonpachi. One mistake in the wrong place and it can swing right back. I mean, that's how the game works.
Absolutely. Iconoclast using the 2 hypers that he built up from the mid boss against the next mid boss there. I think that might be Ranko. I forget the names.
I forget them too.
And he used them right as the drones came out. That's a very important technique for score, but also for survival, because it allows you to negate the bullets that those drones fire using the iframes from the hyper activation. And by point blanking them with the laser aura, you can kill them incredibly quickly. If you let those drones stay on the screen, they will just absolutely flood the screen with garbage and make it extremely difficult to deal with the rest of the patterns from that mid boss. Now, watch this tank on the upper right. Iconoclast is going to try to set up another afterburner here with that tank on the right side. And it's going to be really weird and tight. Oh no, maybe, okay.
Killed it.
Interesting. Maybe it's one that's a little bit later.
It might be the later one, because there's a lot of tanks on this. And
there's a lot of big tanks on stage 5.
And also stage 5, it does feel a little bit like a treadmill in this section, where even I've played the game a lot, and I still get a little bit confused what comes next. Like, oh yeah, okay. Here's this one tank, here's that. Like, it kind of blends together a little bit.
Yeah. No, I think that was the tank.
He just took it out.
Maybe that was a safety moment, because you can elect to kill it earlier.
Speed killing these guys is
really
absolutely crucial.
Nice. I just want to take a moment to appreciate the stage 5 full chain there. 3571. That is an extremely good
very clutch
stage 5 chain. It's about 300 hits below where he really wants to be. But there's a number of things that can influence that, and one of those is the fact that he did not go for that extra afterburner there. So, all things considered, that is just a phenomenal full chain of 1-5 there.
Oh, not good. Oh, not good.
Okay.
It didn't ruin his chain, but I don't. How much does the max matter in DOJ compared to in DDP? It's everything.
It matters a lot. Also, by the way, going for the hyper milk out of 1-4 as well. Is he going to grab all 5? Oh, okay. Both players kind of choking right there. The maximum bonus, which is the no bomb bonus, which is multiplied for every additional bomb you collect through the course of the game, that ends up being worth, I want to say, like a few 100 million points. It's actually pretty significant.
Yeah.
It's not your entire score, but it might be as much as like 400 million or something. I wish I had the exact number, but I don't honestly remember. But it is relatively significant. So certainly that does hurt him from a scoring perspective, and a little bit from a survival perspective. Although I think the confidence is there that that's not going to be a significant reset here. Asui, really solid start to stage 1-5, but the scoring is not quite on pace with where Iconoclast was at this point. So I'm curious to see if things are going to diverge. Like you said before, this game is very unforgiving. You make one mistake and it can swing right back around the other way. Same strategy here with the Raiko hyper delay. Probably going to see the same point blank speed kill. Yep. Just get right up on there, move over, and kill it right there. Yeah, exactly the same route there. Very nice. In fact, I think both players so far have used pretty much the same routes and the same ship type even. So
yes, very similar.
Quite interesting.
I'm a big fan of BEX as well.
Yeah, that's a really nice ship, especially in Black Label.
Yes.
The White Label hitbox for Type B feels a little weird to me, but in Black Label, the ship just feels fantastic. So now we're in Loop 2. As you've noticed, lots more bullets from everything.
Yes.
But there's another crucial difference with the second loop, which is that the chain timer is doubled. So even when you're not hypering, you have almost a full half second. Uh-oh, big mistake there from Asui. This is going to be a reset. Yeah, he's resetting. Wow. Okay.
So
looks like he took a hit at the beehive and is going to be doing another reset. He does still have some time left on the timer.
Yep, he's got 8 minutes.
I think that was his second miss that run. So that's probably an okay call, actually.
That's a reset.
Yeah.
I would have reset for sure. Absolutely. Because you really need those resources coming into the second loop.
Yeah, especially with the with the chain drop in 1-4 and everything. He's probably feeling like, this has to, you have to give it one more chance. So hopefully that turns out to be the right decision long term. But as I was saying, second loop, the chain timer is much longer. So even when you're not hypering, you have about twice as much time compared to the first loop to maintain your chain. So chaining becomes much easier, but surviving becomes much more difficult.
Yes. How does the hyper
certainly,
chain scale in the second loop? Because I've actually never done it.
Yeah, it's
somewhere. It's more. I guess we could say more in some degree.
This boss, the 2-1 boss, is just absolutely brutal. We may see some hypers there to quick kill. Ooh, wow, that dodge. Wow. Okay, that was pretty slick.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, no, it looks like he's going for a no hyper strategy here. Probably trying to save them for 2-2.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very nice.
That was impressive.
Yeah, that boss is extremely scary in the loop. You often see players, especially in white label, building up 4 hypers during the course of 2-1 and using those against the boss to essentially speed kill it before it has a chance to become a real threat, because it's just so gross when you have to deal with some of those patterns.
Yeah.
So it looks like going to be setting up for a very similar chaining strategy to what we saw in the first loop here, but activating the hyper a little bit earlier because you just don't want to let that many enemies, show up on the screen here. You don't want to let the screen get that congested in the second loop. It's really dangerous. And here, taking full advantage of that extra chain time, that link would have been completely impossible in the first loop without hyper.
Yeah, Icon's been playing really well so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to, commentators curse on anything.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
So far, this run is really clean. Ooh, leaving those 2 alive. Interesting. Wonder if that's intentional. Looks like it might be. That's kind of a curious route. I don't think I've seen that before. Cool. This part here, immediately leading up into the 2-2 mid-boss, is kind of scary. On the one hand, you have much more freedom in terms of how you handle it because of the increased chain timer. You don't need to keep alive those tanks on the right side in order for the chain extension into the mid-boss. But the 2-2 mid-boss itself is really mean, and you really, really want all of your resources for the end of the stage. Come on, line it up. Nice. Yeah, you really want all your resources for the end of the stage here.
Yes, he wants to cash it in right here.
Catch in, yeah.
This is like a pretty direct homage to Stage 2 in a DDP. Like the end there with the bunkers and the tanks.
Yeah. I think it's even a very similar, sort of highway bunker thing looking at the very end of it.
It looks like it was just
another afterburner there on that bunker. Nice. Very nice. And again, just making this look easy. 1.2 billion already. So it's super clean so far.
The thing about second loop, Dodonpachi and DaiOuJou, is when you watch super players like this play the second loop, it looks like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a little bit harder. But once you get in there, you realize just how much more aggressive the second loop actually is. It's significantly more aggressive.
Oh,
okay. Not good.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That's a bummer.
But he did already lose his max.
Yeah.
Basically. So now it's more of like trying to keep those resources alive, though.
Yeah, definitely. That's interesting. He's gonna have to make a call really soon if he does want to reset. So far, the run still seems to be very nice misdirection right there. You don't want to have to dodge any of those patterns.
Yes, I recently found out about that.
Yeah. And a bomb there. Yeah.
Might as well. He's already used his max, and he's gonna pick up another bomb.
Yeah.
In the next stage, anyway.
Yeah, and he's got spare stock because he's died already. So if you die when you're not using hyper, if you die, you will gain an extra bomb up to the max for your shot type. And
that's
for
right.
Expert, the starting stock is 1 and the max is 2. Yeah, not going for any extra battleships there. He doesn't have the resources for it. No hyper there. Plus, in the loop, it's just scary.
Yeah. Gotta be. Plus, he's playing this. We can't forget. I forgot to mention too. We got to keep an eye out for the bullet speeds and slowdowns on the 360 port, because this could be significantly faster than what he's used to, or fairly faster than what he's used to on the port, as opposed to on the PCB.
2.4 and 2.5, I think, are going to be kind of gross.
Yes.
We'll see. So far, 2.3 looking pretty clean, though. Trying to kind of get back on route here, it looks like.
Let's see if he chains into this.
Chaining into and through the mid-boss is much easier in the loop because of
the
extended chain time, but it still requires resources like a hyper there in order to do it cleanly. So, nice, there you go, and chain through. And now, this Zako rush is really scary.
Yes.
It's really gross and random.
And Daring said that the safe spot only works in white label.
Okay. It's so interesting that both players are on stage 3 right now, but in different,
separate loops. Like,
a s$'į's in loop 1 and Iconoclast in loop 2.
You can see a direct comparison, though. You can see the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. We got 1.5 minutes left on the reset timer. Curious if there's going to be any last-minute upset here.
Oh yeah, I don't think at this point, but you never know. You never know. I guess if he took a death, that would be pretty tough decision.
Yeah, it'd be a really hard call, and you wouldn't have much time to make it. Let's put it that way.
That's right.
So coming up now onto the battleship section, I believe there's still a safe spot here in the second loop. Yep,
there it is.
So the way these safe spots work, depending on which ship type you're playing, Type A or Type B, and depending on the current hyper rank, it does move slightly. But generally, you want to be just off center from the kind of indicator on the bomb bar at the bottom of the screen there.
That thing is really useful for positioning yourself for safe spots.
Absolutely. Now, Loop 2 Genbu.
This is the one that fuels people's nightmares.
Of runs. This boss is absolutely brutal.
Especially this whip attack here.
Yeah, it really kind of overlaps itself in the loop in a way that's really unfortunate. Looks cool, though.
Oh, yeah. This is a beautiful looking boss fight.
Nice.
It's putting on a good amount of damage, too. That's good. So he doesn't have to fight this phase too long.
Yeah, definitely. And that should be the transition. There you go.
Second phase.
Here's where it gets really grimy.
The cheese graters come out.
Nasui about to hit the 1-3 boss. Come on.
Almost there. Oh.
Just a couple more shots.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
There you go.
Impressive. That was impressive.
No miss, no bomb. 2-3 Genbu. Good job. Holy crap. And now coming into 2-4, kind of ideal situation. You want to be into it with almost or fully 5 hypers to kind of build up a big chain at the start and then carry that through the rest of the stage.
No more resets either.
Yeah, and resets are locked now. Both players are committed. Here we go. Ooh, leaving that one Zako alive. That was kind of spooky for a second there. Nice.
This is where I wonder if the slowdown is going to start becoming a problem. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think we'll know once we get like to the trams and the Zako rush section just after the trams. That's where I think we would really feel it. The trams, interestingly, one of the things that's very interesting in the loop because it is so much easier to chain because of the increased chain timer. Like it's almost, I don't want to say it's trivial, but like compared to what it's like in the first loop, it is so much easier to maintain a chain through here.
You do have a lot of crap to hit. And so with the more lax chain timer, you can just sort of hold auto fire and just let it rock for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw Iconoclast there on that last triumph. He didn't even need to use laser at all. He just hold and rapid shot the whole time. So Yeah, and there you go. 1.46 billion. Really solid run so far, despite a few serious mistakes. Still playing really well. This is probably a good run to lock into, all things considered.
Yeah.
Could be a lot worse right now. All right, probably gonna hyper right here. Yep.
Here, right here. Okay, it wasn't too bad. I guess the hyper cleared it out for him.
Now against the mid boss here, you're probably gonna see an adaptation using that increased chain timer for more leniency when trying to chain through the mid boss.
Here's his last extend.
Using shot on some of these canisters, for example, not something you can do at all in the first loop.
Nice.
And nice. That was beautifully done. And of course, now coming up on the Loop 2 railguns.
Yes.
This section is just incredibly, incredibly difficult. For survival, for score, it doesn't matter. It's just very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
They're completely random. They throw way more crap onto the screen. And when they die, they spawn a line of bullets that walls you off, and you have to work around that. And again, all of this random every time.
You know, and what can be really unfortunate, he's able to avoid it, but what can be really unfortunate is sometimes if your hyper spawns, but it kind of spawns in a bad spot and you can't really get to it, you get kind of locked into the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was really clean. Very nice.
Yeah, he's...
Again, just making it look easy.
Yeah, he's on fire here. That's a big old chain.
Yeah.
That's a big old chain.
1.8 into 2-4 boss. That's real solid. Now, this boss, we're going to see, hopefully, we're going to see an interesting technique where he's going to use shot now. Yep, there you go. And then he's going to switch to laser at just the right time, again, to get that hyper buildup cancel during this pattern. Come on.
Oh, nice.
You want it? You want it? Yeah, there you go. Because you don't want to have to continuously dodge through that in the loop. It's just such a mess. It's a really difficult pattern.
Yeah,
and so
that's a
players will
difficult
often
pattern
route,
even in loop 1.
Yeah. Players will often route such that by using the cancel from building up a hyper, you can cancel all the bullets at these opportune moments. And against this boss in particular, that is a very common technique. Oh, still gonna go for it.
Yeah, he's
in
going
loop
for
2. Oh, the audacity. Definitely still playing the highest level for score here. That's awesome.
Icon is not that far off of the world record last time I checked. Like he's creeping up on that.
He's definitely getting closer and closer. Real nice here. And again with that little delay, letting him move into and then out of that ring safely by using that cancel from the hyper build up. Come on, take it out. Nice. And 11,000 hits on the counter. That's pretty fun. And Asui there, this is so great. The timing syncs up so perfectly.
Yeah,
Asui now doing the same thing in the first loop. That's really fun. That is really fun.
It seems like this run's been going pretty well for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Still on No Miss No Bomb. And his score right now coming out of 1-4 is really, really solid. There you go. Yeah. Get those hits. You can see the bullets just flying down the screen right now. And that's because of the hyper rank, which is something we sort of alluded to earlier. So the more you use the hyper system in the game, the faster bullets start traveling. And that rank does not go down unless you make a mistake. If you bomb or die, then that rank will start going down. So at this point in the game, since they're both playing for score and both the kind of vomiting hypers, you see the bullet speed has really been magnified by the time you get to 2-5 in the loop. Of course, 2-5 Raiko just going hard.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, you got to make some funky adjustments to the movement there because the pattern will hit you if you're just in that quote-unquote safe spot that you can abuse in the first loop. Now, the beehive section here is pretty spooky in the loop.
Yes.
So this This is kind of, at least according to the notes I have from Iconoclast, this is the most concerning part of 2.5 is the beehive and the mid boss immediately after the beehive. There's a lot of things that can go wrong here, especially at high rank. And it's right in the middle of the stage, so for Score, it's absolutely not somewhere you want to make a mistake. Interestingly, he has mentioned that he feels like stage 5 is actually pretty consistent overall. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. It's a very difficult and complicated stage, but with enough practice, consistency is not that big of a deal here because it seems like there's not that much randomness on this.
Right. Whereas in like stage 4 with the rails and all that.
Right.
That's not fun.
Yeah, going for the afterburner again. Oh,
I'm betting the turtle is really what he has nightmares about. In stage 2-3 boss, the turtle probably is what takes out a lot of his runs.
Really clean on the mid boss there. And we got this other short Zako rush, and then the other mid boss. This is all still very, very tense. And then Asui just at the same point in the game.
Yep. And you can even compare their chain meters. So we got 2,425, 2,425. At least for a second there, they matched up.
Frames again. Both going to be using... Oh, Asui not using the hyper on the drones. That is an interesting route change right there.
There's the hyper.
Okay. I'm curious where he's going to pop those hypers now. Because now there's a sudden and very big divergence here between the players' routing. I think probably he's going to be waiting for a little bit later in 1.5 and then trying to blow 4 or 5 hypers at once. That should be quite lucrative.
Yeah, I'm wondering where he's going to use them too. Maybe on those really big tanks?
Could be. Not quite sure myself. All right, so will we see the second afterburner here? Still setting up for it. You see, feathering the damage on that tank, keeping it off the screen so it's not attacking. Because it will not attack while it's actually off the screen.
Right.
Okay, no. Wasn't safe, I think. Man. Oh, gosh.
It's still there.
This movement. It's so precise at this point.
Oh, there you go. You got a little bit.
Oh, the point blanking. Oh, man.
This last part here.
Nice.
You got to speed kill these things. Boss time.
Another full chain of 2-5. Wow.
Ooh, that death's going to hurt.
Death. Okay.
There goes his max.
And now Loop 2 Koryu. This first pattern in Loop 2 is really gross, the way it kind of layers and overlaps. But the second pattern is much worse.
Ridiculous.
One thing we saw there is that hyper buildup and cancel there. That is intentional. That is part of the route, is having a hyper
just hang out,
cancel during that second attack. You do not want to dodge that.
I gotta wonder what Cave's thinking when they're programming those types of patterns. They're like, you know what, hit the bomb button. How about that? I kind of feel like that's the idea behind it.
Yeah. So, Iconoclast had mentioned trying to save a bomb for Big B here, and looks like that did not quite work out.
Yeah.
So, hyper timing might be off. We'll see what happens. Fun little safe spot right there.
I've watched him stream. He seems to be really good against Big B and Hibachi, just from what I've seen of his streams.
Yeah, I'm sure his consistency is very, very good here. I'm not worried about it. It's just he had mentioned he was going to try to no miss the whole thing, and it looks like that may not be. Holy crap! Holy crap!
Was crazy.
Oh, that was amazing. Okay, wow.
Now he's trying to get some of those hypers going.
Yeah, so hypers will only drop during boss fights if you have no bombs in stock. And so there, using those bombs, he was able to get through that blue pattern and get very, very close to Hibachi and use that as a way to get the hyper.
About to see the washing machine.
Oh, really nice cancel timing right there. Nice. Man.
Okay, now he's going to abuse the iframes on this hyper.
Yep, and then probably also some bombs. Oh, or just YOLO it. Whoa.
He's got another bomb. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, but we'll get another hyper in just a second here. So this is in the bag.
Yeah, he's got it. There it is. There's the hyper. Beautiful.
And there it is.
Beautiful.
Beautiful run. One stock.
That's
2.5 billion before the end bonuses. This is
on the 360 port.
Yeah, on the 360 port. Let's not forget.
That would be really funny if this is like that one of the highest scores on the port now. I have no idea.
I'm curious actually what his PB on the port is. That's pretty funny. Oh man. And Asui now just entering the second loop.
Yeah, he's got a whole second half of the journey left for him.
He does, but he's really well positioned for it right now. He did have a miss at the end of the first loop, but he's coming into the second loop at 1.08 billion, which is really quite solid. And it looks like his route is pretty much where it wants to be for 2-1. We'll see in just a second where he ends the stage at, but I suspect he's going to try to do something similar to what Iconoclast did there. Curious if he'll end up going for hypering the boss for safety. There you go, 1.12.
Okay, let's see what he does on the boss here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, no hypers yet.
I think he's dodging it.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it. Very cool. Nice little point blank there to get some extra aura damage.
That was really, really good.
Yeah, it was very, very clean. So I am glad we didn't, at least I don't think we noticed any of there were a couple glitches that he had mentioned being concerned about with this run. There's an overflow glitch apparently with if your hit count is too high at the end of 2-2 and then you collect the last B, you actually get less points.
Oh.
I don't think we saw that here.
Interesting. I never knew about that.
And apparently there's also a glitch where now this one's really, really weird for me. If you're lasering an enemy and you kill it at exactly the same time that you fill the hyper gauge, the chain just drops to 0. Which is, like, I don't even understand the circumstance in which that would happen, but that just sounds incredibly difficult to consciously avoid. So I'm glad that did not seem to happen here. The chain drops that we saw seemed like they were very easily understandable, and the rest of the time we were just seeing full chain. So that was really nice to be able to see the game demonstrated with so many really, really smooth chains. Also, coming up on the end of stage 2 now. BIS.
That looks like his only score on the port.
I think the port might like reset the leaderboard or something. I don't remember.
Oh boy, yeah, probably. Probably.
Good port.
Great work.
Nice movement here. Not going for any afterburners here in the second loop, looks like. At least not on stage 2. But solid full chain.
Yep.
1.37 at the end of the stage. Very nice.
The invulnerability. It's so awesome.
And this... Oh.
Yeah, this boss is crazy.
The faster bullets from the hyper in the loop, it's just... Oh, no misdirect here. Uh-oh.
I wonder why.
Wow. I don't know.
He's just that cool.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess he's just going for it. Okay. That's wow. And I thought he was going to get hit there at the end.
I wonder if that boosts his boss hits in any way, you know, holding back. Because sometimes in Dodonpachi, I've noticed some of the super players, they'll intentionally not use a safe spot on 2-5 boss simply to get more hits.
Hold up. Is he going for the... He is. He's going for bonus battleships in the loop. Damn. Oh, man.
Got
okay,
2
of them. Not quite 3. Yeah, so if you kill those battleships quickly enough, you can get a second bonus battleship, and then if you kill that one quickly enough, you can get a third to spawn. So for a total of 3 battleships at the start of the stage there. And you can only really do that if you have hypers. So we didn't see Iconoclast do that because of that unfortunate death to the 2-2 boss. But he did not have hypers in stock there. We probably would have seen him do it otherwise. But it's interesting to see that Asui did do it here. Looks like he's still going for just the high-end scoring routes here.
Yep.
Even with some of the mistakes we've seen from this run so far.
Committed.
Just keep it going. Very, very cool. Nice. That was pretty spooky for a second. And very, very nice chain 3 setup. Pretty much the same thing that Iconoclast used, actually. I wonder how consistent that is. Looks like they both got it quite... Easily is the wrong word, but
right.
They both got it cleanly. Nice delay there. These Zarko at the end of stage 3 in both loops are... It's very easy to get hit by them when you're new to the game because the way that they fire is a little counterintuitive. They don't aim directly at you.
Yeah, that's right.
They kind of latch to like the nearest angle from a fixed number of angles that they can actually aim at. And that can be really disorienting because it feels like when you're first learning the game, it feels like they're aiming like in front of you, or they're aiming where you're going to be. And sometimes that is true, but most of the time it's just you're not able to recognize those angles. Ooh, no safe spot here. Some really fancy cutback instead. That was cool. Coming up on Loop 2 Genbu.
Yep, here we go, the turtle.
Here we go.
Those extra bullets on that first pattern are so ruthless. Just the ones that hang out at the back of the pattern just to catch you.
Yeah. It's kind of like the whole thing with the 2-3 version of this boss is that it's like it has the same pattern again, but like offset a little bit and delayed.
Yes.
So you have to align more precisely and you have to be more accurate with your timing as well because it persists on the screen for longer.
Phase 2. Ooh, this is where it gets scary.
Come on.
Nice. Nicely done.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Oh. .6. I can't actually remember what Iconoclast score split was coming into 2-4. I'm not sure if this is ahead. Interesting.
Yeah. I think that they're fairly close. It might be a little bit ahead.
I'm not sure. Either way, it's remarkable. Both players running at a really, really, really high level and not compromising at all. You know, like both of them made some significant mistakes in the run and just continued to try to do the absolute best they could. And again, I have to stress that in this game, a mistake in one stage might have ramifications for the entire rest of that stage, or even for the next stage, because of the way that the hyper routing works.
Yes.
You know, if you break a chain, then that might disrupt your ability to build meter by collecting a B, which might disrupt when you can use a hyper, which might disrupt your hyper timing at the end of the stage.
Yeah.
It has huge knock-on impacts for how you handle things. So it's really cool to see both players continue to strive for and achieve such solid scores even after those setbacks.
It also gives the game's overall score routing a real organic feel, because it doesn't feel like it's play stage, play next stage, play next stage. You know, it feels like there's a connection between your entire run, what you do, and like we're saying, in one stage really influences what happens in the next stage.
Yeah, definitely. Nice chain through on the trams here. Did he miss a B, or did I just not see it?
I'm not sure. I wasn't watching for the Bs.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of the stage. Oh, interesting. He starts on the left. I don't know if there's actually any difference at all in that section, because there's so many enemies. Like,
yeah.
You're just going to get them all anyways.
Yeah.
But Iconoclast was always starting on the right. It's kind of funny. Curious to see how he handles the mid-boss and the rails after. Because this is spooky.
Yeah, this is another one of those big choke points.
Get that hyper. Pop it now. Yep. Now move over. Up. Nice. And again, just making it look so much easier than it actually is.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh man, rails.
See, there's that's what I was talking about earlier, where your hyper is just kind of like in the wrong spot. There, he got it.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah, he snuck around and got it.
Ah. Yeah, so the hyper drop, like the hyper will drop from the top of the screen horizontally based on your current position, I believe. And so you can influence where it drops. The complication with that is in a situation like that where
you don't know where the enemies are going to be.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know where the enemies are going to be, so you just have to hope that where you are now is going to be safe in 5 seconds when the hyper actually gets down to you. So this is interesting. His hyper meter looks like it might be a little low to go for the second pattern hyper cancel that we were describing when Iconoclast was playing 2-4 boss earlier. So it looks like he will actually have to just YOLO these patterns.
Oh boy.
Less than ideal.
Because he can't do that cancel, yeah.
Yeah, he can't do the cancel here.
Come on.
Oh my gosh.
He made it through, though.
What the heck was that? Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. We're probably going to see another delay here waiting for the 3-3-3 drone formation. So does he get it on the first roll? He does.
Yep, he does.
Wow. That's really lucky in the second loop to get that on the first roll.
Yeah.
It's completely random whether it goes for the 3-3-3 or the sort of like drone space pattern, and you want it to be in the 3-3-3 if you're going for the max hyper build up here. Oh God.
That was amazing. Daring said earlier in the chat that you can actually get 6 bad rolls in a row and then the boss just times out.
Yeah. At a certain point, you do just have to commit and go for it, because otherwise the boss will just time out. And you do want to be able to build up something out of it. It may not be as optimal, but you can still build up like 4 hypers from the space pattern.
Yeah.
Statistically, though, you should be pretty likely.
Yeah.
All right, so 209 coming into 2.5. Damn.
What's fun about 2.5 too is it's a rework of Stage 1 in Dodonpachi, the palette.
And you can actually even see, like in the background there, sort of in the distance at the bottom of these canyons, you can see some of the destroyed bosses and mid-bosses from Dodonpachi, which is just a really cool treat. Dodonpachi actually has a similar thing graphically, where you can see like destroyed wreckage in the background of the first stage.
Yes.
But if I remember correctly, it's it's stuff like the space battleship Yamato. Like it's not necessarily stuff from the Dodonpachi series.
Right.
because,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cave just has a real knack for little details like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Here we go to the beehive section.
Oh boy, man, these bullets are just flying.
Oh,
right now.
that was brutal. That's not
Okay.
good for his chain. That is not good.
No, it's not. Curious if it offsets his route at all, but I think his hyper timing should still be okay.
Do you remember
Because-
Iconoclast's final score?
I think it was 2.58, 56, something like that.
Okay. I'm wondering if he's locked out at this point of catching that. Probably, right?
Because of that drop, very possibly, but 2.65. I was just checking up in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, still going for the afterburner here. Very nice. I don't know. I think it might still be possible. I don't know if there's
maybe.
no other
Maybe.
drops
Yeah.
and the end bosses go really well. It might still be possible. I don't know exactly how much that opening chain is worth, but it is worth a lot.
Yes.
So
it
it's,
really
it's
compounds
really hard
on
to make
itself.
an estimation on that.
I wonder if he's going to do
Curious?
that. Yeah, we're saying the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, still no hyper here.
He does it again.
So interesting. Okay.
Maybe Icon will see this and be like, maybe I should start doing this.
Yeah, I'm curious what the reasoning behind it is because I'm really not used to seeing that route there. Like most runs that I have seen will use 2 hypers there even in the loop. So I'm curious what the rationale behind that is. That's very interesting. I feel like there has to be some sort of advantage because it seems like otherwise it's kind of a scary, tricky thing to try to do.
I just have really bad allergies going on right now, Rise. Forgive me.
Oh, no.
Nothing I can do about it, though.
Oh, that death. That was so sad. Oh, no.
Oh, damn. Another one.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is really spooky now. This is going to be very, very tight. One of the things that's really tricky about
great hyper.
Hibachi, yeah. One of the things that's really tricky about Hibachi in this game is that it's really a sort of like a resource-intensive fight. It's very, very, very difficult to do Hibachi in this game consistently without using resources. And in fact, a lot of how the fight pans out is sort of optimized timing on when you're getting and utilizing
those hypers.
your
Yes,
resources.
I have
coming
seen it
into
done. I have seen it done though.
Yeah, it is absolutely possible. I'm not saying it's impossible,
but it's
it
going to
is
be tough.
very
It's gonna
difficult
be
and
tough.
very inconsistent.
Yeah, it's going to be scary. Sometimes though, I've noticed when players have their back against the wall, all of a sudden, that's when they start to
Whoa,
really pull it
Dodging this, Paul. Okay. Thank you for bombing that.
out. He did
Oh,
save himself
man.
an extra bomb though. There, he's still got
Yeah.
the one floating around up there.
As long as he can get up to grab it before it runs off. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just barely mistimed. The hyper cancel came during the first pattern from Koryu instead of during the second one, but it was like right at the end of the first pattern. So just barely not where it should have been. So that's kind of cool. Like despite the deaths, was still able to route almost correctly that hyper cancel. All right. Here we go.
Yeah, big fat B.
This shotgun pattern is so gross. Okay.
I still kind of prefer it over the weird wall that the DDP Big B does.
That's such a weird way to do this. What?
The
Whoa.
new meta, the new strats.
Whoa. You don't even normally see this pattern.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. Okay.
But he's
really,
sitting
really
on some
nice dodging here.
resources. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. Get the double hyper.
Yeah. Get out of the Needles of Death. You don't want to be there. Nice. The interesting factoid here: the iframes are different for player 1 and player 2 against bosses in DaiOuJou. So you need to die on player 1 side if you want to abuse the iframes on Hibachi like that to get through things like the Needles of Death.
That is hilarious.
Safely. Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's got a hyper.
Really, really good damage so far, though, and coming into this with a hyper.
I have faith.
And having another one
it.
almost all the way built up. I think this could happen.
Oh, shit. Not good. Not good.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, now he's got to get through the washing machine here. Oh, this is going to be brutal.
Oh, man. Come on. Ah.
Oh, and look at the just game over. Didn't even...
Yeah.
No continue.
Yeah, you're not allowed to continue in any of 2.5 in Black Label or any of the second loop at all in White Label. Still, though, 2.2 billion.
Yeah.
What a run.
So close.
Both of these players. Incredible, incredible, incredible runs tonight from both players. And, man, like, what a brutal game to play live. So, that was fantastic. Wow.
That was really close.
Wow. Yeah, GG. GG.
Well, awesome. Up next, we have Ketsui. It'll be yourself commentating as well as... I gotta check the schedule here. I keep forgetting. Let's see the time difference. I'm always curious. How long do we have till Ketsui? Ketsui will be in about half hour or so. Yep, about half hour.
Sounds right.
Let's check the commentary schedule. Oh, it'll be yourself and Satis talking about Ket. Awesome.
Oh yeah, and that's going
that's
to be a crazy one.
That's going to be 4 different players going at it. So hopefully the the host stream can handle.
Yeah, hopefully our brains can handle that much Ketsui.
Yes.
I think the universe might just spontaneously combust from that much energy. Especially since, from my understanding, all 4 players are at least attempting to go for an Ura to all. And Moglar has mentioned to me that he's going to try for a 500 million or more Ura to all, which is an extremely ambitious goal for a live run, but one that I'm sure that he is capable of achieving. So that's also going to be an absolutely fantastic demonstration, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Ketsui is one of the most popular score games right now. It's like,
yeah,
the amount of really talented Ketsui players hanging around, there's a lot of them.
So real quick, before we leave the DaiOuJou section, I'm assuming you're going to go to an intermission for a moment.
Yep.
I just want to point out a message that Iconoclast had about this game that I think is really interesting in the context of what we just watched, right? So he says his favorite thing about DaiOuJou is just the satisfaction of fully connecting your chains and continuously optimizing them little by little. Even though there is some random BS, it's always exciting. You never quite know how things are going to go. And the conflicting desire to like have those perfect routes. I'm extrapolating from his words a little bit here.
Yes.
The conflicting need to have those perfect routes and continually optimize them and deal with the fact that nothing is going to go exactly the way you plan keeps things really exciting. And that's why he thinks the game is so rewarding. And I think really that's what we just watched, right? Is both players striving for that perfection, neither of them quite getting it, but the differences between how they were trying to do it and the way that they overcame those struggles is what made it so fun to watch.
I agree 100%. I think Cave has real talent, especially in the Dodonpachi series, of adding in just enough jank and just enough RNG that will always keep even the world's best players on their toes at least a little bit. So that if the game really was just 100% static, 100% predictable, it'd be a lot less interesting than adding in just enough spice to keep people scared, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You got to have that little bit of excitement. Yeah. Anyway, that was wonderful, and I am excited for Ketsui, but I need a little bit of a break.
Me too. All right, everyone. So I'll throw on an intermission. We'll see you back here in about half hour for some Ketsui.
Mogular and SPS on the same stream already is fantastic, but X91 has also been really putting in some work on this game. CSG I haven't been following as well.
He has 507 mil, so we have 3 500 mil players here.
Damn. And I think X91's hit like 470 or 480, something like that, right?
Yeah, I believe he's above 480.
Yeah, wow.
He's quite an impressive player too, even if it's not like SPS or Mogular.
Yeah. Plays a number of games at a very high level, if I recall.
I've seen some replays from X91 as well that are really impressive.
I'm struggling to even begin with the commentary here. There's just so much happening so fast. Oh man. Okay, so all four looking like playing the Type A ship, which is a little bit interesting. I guess it's not too unexpected, but
yeah.
Everyone plays Tiger.
Pretty unplayed.
I guess like with 4 players like this, I would have hoped to see one, but guess not.
Araska, he plays.
Okay, it looks like Mogular is actually going for the hard milk here.
Yeah,
where you get two sets of missiles on the first wave, and he got it. Perfect. Because this is really hard, and most people just opt for the easier version. In fact, I think Mogular was doing it even when he had like mid 500 mil, because it's a huge pain in the ass to do.
Yeah, he's mentioned that his goal for this event is to get over 500 and an Aura 2-all. So I think we're going to see him just pushing all of the scoring tech he knows to the limit here. And I know that all of the players are going to be attempting for Aura. So we may see some resets. People are going to be taking as much use of that timer as they can get.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very tough to loop in these conditions.
Yeah. X91 first out with 20 million from stage 1. Very, very respectable score already. Mogular looking like he's going to hit, what, 22? 22, yeah. SPS also looking like around 22, maybe 23. And CSG, hard to call at this point because he's still doing the boss milk. Yeah, 23 from SPS. Wow.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Mogular just letting the power up float around in no rush to grab that. Interesting. Yeah, super clean.
Maybe we should explain scoring system in this game.
Yeah, let's go over it a bit. So in Ketsui, there's a wide shot and a focused lock-on laser. Hitting enemies with the lock-on will cause your options to lock onto them. And if you have killed enemies recently, it will start a chain. If you kill enemies with the wide shot, generally to start that chain, and the closer you are to an enemy in terms of vertical proximity, the higher the value of the chips that enemy will drop. And then while that chain lasts, every enemy that is killed with the lock-on will have their value multiplied by one of the counters at the top of the screen, but they will also drop chips of the current value of the chain. Just saw a reset from Mogular there.
Yeah.
So there's a couple counters in the top left corner of the screen. The top counter is the stage counter. That's the total number of chips that you collected on this stage. The middle counter is your current active multiplier. That goes up when you collect chips and goes down when you use the lock shot to kill enemies. The bottom number is the current value of your chain and your current chain timer. So for example, on CSG stream right now, he's at chain value of 5, and it just ran out, but it starts at about 60. That goes down, not quite based on the frame count, but that's a pretty accurate way to kind of conceptualize it. Basically, it runs down pretty quickly. But the more enemies you kill during the chain can slightly extend it, and killing certain enemies, such as like mid-boss parts, can extend it very significantly. Something we'll see probably in stage 3. against the mid-boss, there's a number of parts of the mid-boss that you can use to prolong the chain very dramatically. So the basic theory is that you want to build up the middle value, your multiplier value, before high value targets. Specifically, usually the stage mid-boss is going to be a prime example of that. So you're going to want that middle counter as high as you can before hitting that target. And then you're going to want to cash out by using the lock-on shot to kill the high value target. And then by the end of the stage, by the time you reach the boss, or more specifically, by the time you reach the stage clear screen, you're going to want the top value to be as high as possible. And that top value is multiplied by your life and remaining bomb stock to give you a total bonus. As a result of that, having extra extends early is very important. So ideally, for score, players will be aiming to get both score extends before the end of stage 2, and the first score extend pretty much right at the end of stage 1, so that it's factored into those calculations.
Yeah, that's right. And SPS got a pretty good score on stage 2. Oh.
Yeah, I can see that. I can't quite read the number. It looks like 58, maybe? 59.
Yeah, I believe it was 59. And unfortunately, he made a mistake and accidentally lock shot. Well, he killed one of the tank treads with a lock shot, and that probably close to removed a million from his score, sadly, because those tank treads are absolute traps. You don't ever want to break them with lock shot.
Yeah. Really nice point blank there.
Yeah, because the value is horrendous, and they also reduce your stage counter by 10%, I believe.
Wow, CSG also with a 59 looks like into stage 3. And X91 now hitting 65 just before the mid-boss. Moglar coming into stage 2 for the second time with just over 22 million. And SPS coming up on the stage 3 mid-boss in just a moment here. Curious X91's gonna... No, just a safety strat there from X91. But using the battleship to get 5 chips off of the enemy. So that's, I guess, something we could start explaining is how the chip generation works. So the chips are generated when something explodes. That does not necessarily mean the instant that it is, like, killed. So there's a way that you can abuse that in a couple situations. First of all, there are certain enemies that take a very exaggerated time to blow up, like the stage 3 mid-boss. So if you kill another enemy, generate a higher value chip, and then switch to lock shot, all of the chips that are produced during that explosion sequence will be of that higher value. Another example of this would be like the turrets and helicopters in stage 2, for example. Now, there's another variation of this concept called empty locking, which is a technique that allows you to kill an enemy with shot, but immediately switch to lock as the enemy is being defeated, which does not cash out the multiplier, but does cause the enemy to drop additional chips as if it were defeated with the lock shot. CSG looking like going for a reset there. He's playing on the arcade board, I believe, so having to sacrifice his remaining lives in order to get that reset going. Whoa. SPS 4.9k on the stage counter before what is this? What is this thing's name? Jamadar, I think?
Yeah. It's quite high.
Yeah, it's very, very nice stage 3.
Yeah. I think if everything goes right, you should have like about 5.1. I'm not sure about that.
That sounds about right. Nice cancel there from Moglar against Sphinx.
Yeah, he actually has the highest score entering Sphinx out of the 4 players. And X91 is out of stage 3.
Yep.
Still looking pretty good. It's probably 1 of 5. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's quite good.
So SPS just missed the empty lock on Jamadar's second form, which is a pretty significant score loss. It's probably not completely terrible, like killing the tank treads on stage 2 boss when the lock shot, but
yeah,
it's not good.
112.
Either way, yeah, 112 is still great.
Yeah. X91 really capitalizing on these like shorter chains. Especially in the early stage 4, you kind of have to play it that way. But just starting something and then very quickly trying to cash out on 1 or 2 larger enemies. But the consequence of that, oh no, never mind. His counter is actually quite high. Nice. His multiplier is pretty much where it should be right now.
Yeah, it's good. Also, you can actually, if you stop shooting, your chain timer will like decrease. Yeah, really fast, and that's something players will do occasionally.
Yeah, sometimes it's more beneficial to kill your current chain, like intentionally stop shooting and let it drop to 0, and then restart a new chain. Into stage 3 mid on Moglar.
Yeah, Moglar actually has a unique strat that no one else does, and well, we'll see if he does it, but it involves getting a 5-ship kill on the mid bot. Okay, he's not going for it. Understandable, because that rout's very difficult, but the way he'd usually do it is getting a 5-ship from the boat, like right below him, and then lock killing the mid boss, and he can still get 6 puffers like that, which are these helicopters, and 6 puffers is what you want, and it looks like he got 6 of them.
Nice. SPS getting the kill on Blacktrap with over 950 on his multiplier there. That's really nice. X91 coming up on stage 4 boss, Cinderella Amber.
Yeah, gotta get past these nightmares, and they definitely live up to the name. The second one can be quite difficult to 5-ship, and we'll see if he goes for it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Around the World from Moglar. Nice. That's always fun to see.
You got a 4-ship. That's still good. You can't expect 5-ship all the time, honestly.
Yeah.
It's seriously difficult to go for. Yeah, Moglar almost had 5.1k entering Jamanar, so it's on really good pace right now.
That's fantastic.
He could probably get 116 entering stage 3.
Stage 4, but yeah.
Stage 4.
It's all good. It's too much to keep track of. There's so many things I want to talk about here, but like everyone's at a different point in the game, and it's just
Yeah.
X91 on Cinderella, second phase. This boss can be pretty hairy, especially if you're trying for No Miss No Bomb for Aura.
So a lot of people actually try to lock kill, shot kill the first form of Cindy, but it's actually more or less score neutral if you use lock shot or not.
I think Moglar said that there's an empty lock for the first phase, but it's just like really, really inconsistent.
Yeah, and the score gain is marginal, to say the least.
Okay.
Yeah,
SPS tried to go for it.
Yeah, but you only got 3 ships in total, so
yeah,
you got like 12 ships out of that.
And yeah, it looks like Moglar was about 115 entering stage 4. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's on very good pace right now. His scoring is actually extremely consistent. I think the best he's had is like 118.5 or so entering stage 4, and getting within 3 mil of that in just one credit for this live run is incredible.
Yeah, his consistency in general is just extraordinarily impressive, especially for a game like this. It's so unforgiving.
Yeah.
Golden Bat ER here on X91. Nicely handled there. X91 mentioned in a conversation that I had before the run, he doesn't feel as confident compared to the other players. He's really just trying to get into the Aura Loop and then, hopefully do well from there. And he also mentioned that he has a lot of nerves about stage 5. If he's gotten this far without using any resources, he starts feeling really nervous. So, sending good energy your way. Hopefully you pull through this. Doing very, very well so far.
Yeah. His first half is very tough, but it looks like he's doing it quite well.
Yeah.
It's also an extremely tough section to optimize, and it is actually quite difficult to get 999 timer into the mid-boss, which is super important because it's the most high-scoring mid-boss in the game.
Yeah, Trafalgar, just everything about handling Trafalgar properly is pretty tricky.
Yeah.
Oh, the super swag point blank from Moglar there on that first Nightmare. Didn't quite manage the 5-chip out of it, but got the second 5-chip set off of it. Second time it blows up.
Yeah, so Moglar has a pretty unique route for this Landmaster section. It's actually for the last one, depending on the rotation of the Landmaster, he can go grab a 5-chip from the top left. And okay, he's not doing it. Didn't look like he needed it, actually.
So far, X91's handling of Trafalgar has been pretty on point. He got the turret cancels on the top when they needed to happen, and now looks like he's setting up for the other turret cancel here. Yeah, there you go. Nice. And counter is 990, 942. Looks like.
Yeah, I've never actually seen anyone do Trafalgar like X91 is. His route is kind of special.
Really?
Yeah, not in a bad way, but I personally never seen anyone do it like that. It achieves the same results, but it's interesting.
Nice timing on the Zako rush here. Nice. That's another thing I guess we've neglected to mention so far is killing a couple of the mid-bosses. You want to do it at specific times because they're on a section of infinitely scrolling stage background. And if you kill them at the correct time, you'll get the very start of that loop, which will spawn more bonus enemies. So the stage 2 mid-boss and also the stage 5 mid-boss here, Trafalgar, which we're about to see SPS trying to kill, if you time that kill at the correct time, you'll get more bonus enemies. In the first loop, you want to do that. The second loop, debatable.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the 2-5 Psycho Rush. You definitely want to time the 2-2 Psycho Rush, even in a loop. It's risky, of course, but
yeah,
I don't remember exactly how you'd want to do 2-5 Psycho Rush, considering it's very difficult.
On the Descent Nightmare there from X91, that looked really clean.
Yeah, so far it's still no Mr. Bomb, and
yeah,
I would say the last big wall is coming up in a minute. The Panzer clones.
Yeah. Oh man. All three players looking like they're on good pace right now. Oh, I may have spoken too soon. I think Malgo just took a hit, and there's a reset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down.
SPS at the Descent Nightmare, and it's down. Nice.
Yeah. There's a 5-ship empty lock you can do on it, but it's really difficult. I think more commonly you see a 4-ship empty lock, but even then, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's just such a dangerous enemy at such a critical moment in the game.
Yeah, understandable if people don't go for it.
Yeah. All right, X91 at the final clone segment here.
Yeah, it's looking good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is perfect. I think he's fine.
Yep.
These last two can show.
Woo! Nice.
Yeah, good job. As long as you do like all the previous Panzer clones, just fine. The last two will usually behave, but they were kind of risky that time.
Yeah.
But he handled it well.
It's kind of tricky, and I think usually you want to split your locks on them on the last pair. You want to get like partially locked on one, partially locked on the other, and that can be difficult to set up sometimes. but he handled it well there. All right, this is where the pressure's really on. He's managed to fulfill all of the other Ura requirements so far. Oh, SPS at the final pair of clones. And he's clear.
Yeah, he got it. Just needs to not choke evac.
Yeah.
Which he's not that difficult of a boss. He's probably a bit easier than stage 4 boss, in my opinion. But you can still definitely die to this guy.
Yeah.
He's no pushover.
Yeah, there's a couple parts of it that can be really tricky, I think.
Yeah.
This pattern where he shoots the missiles and the rings of bullets, that can be surprisingly annoying if he goes really high up on the screen. And then a lot of the other stuff is just you need to know how to dodge it safely. So this pattern with the blue and red that X91 just dealt with, you need to macro that. And then the
final pattern.
Yeah.
This is the hardest one in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Usually you want to do, it looks like what X91 is doing here, which is sort of this like triangular movement at the bottom of the screen where you want to wait for the explosions to get really close to you and then sort of macro them up and around to misdirect. So, Ura qualification from X91. Fantastic job so far. SPS just behind. Let's see if he manages it there. About to hit the final phase. There's the final phase trigger right there. Yep.
I believe that was a 259 middle loop one. Very good.
Yeah.
And SPS is probably getting 270 something.
Nice. All right. So that's SPS into
yeah. Holy shit.
279. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's really good.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So that's 2 players into Ura. This is incredible. All right.
Okay. Should probably explain how the Ura mechanics work.
Yeah. So once you're in the loop, enemies no longer drop chips. Instead, they fire revenge bullets at you, and the number of bullets that they fire is different in the different loops. The easier loop, the Omote loop, and the Ura loop have a different quantity of bullets. They also behave slightly differently. But for every bullet that is spawned, it increases your counter correspondingly as if it were a chip. And the bullets, as you might notice, are not aimed directly at you. They're aimed at you with some variation, some randomness to it. So
quite a lot of variation in the Ura loop.
Yeah. The other important difference, I suppose, would be in the Omote loop. If you seal those bullets, if you're close enough to the enemy that the bullets are not fired when the enemy dies, then that does not contribute to your counter. But in the Ura loop, it does.
SPS just took a hit on stage 1. That's not good at all because the life bonus, like the stage clear bonus, is doubled in the Ura loop. And, of course, that means you want to keep your lives as long as you can, and bombs.
Yeah. Oof. That is a bummer.
Yeah, because the last 3 bombs, and that's if I recall, bombs are only 10 points each at the stage clear bonus, but lives are 50 points each, and doesn't sound like much, but when it's multiplied by a couple thousand, it's pretty significant.
Yeah. It also took a big hit on his counter, only at 2005 here. Would have expected it to be a bit higher, but Moggler up on Sphinx here, and CSG almost to the stage 5 mid boss. Nice around the world from X91 there. This part right, a good bomb.
Yeah, that's a good bomb because that section is very tricky.
Yeah, I was about to say this part is incredibly difficult in the loop. A lot of players bomb here, and many bomb.
Yeah, 2-2 is actually a huge bomb spot for a lot of players.
Yeah, there's a lot of segments here that can be just really brutal. The part right there approaching the mid-boss, and then a couple segments in the section after the mid-boss when multiple helicopters are coming down at the screen can be really, really dangerous. Mogler looking at like 62 entering stage 3. Pretty good.
It's also a potential score bomb where X91 is right now, but well, that wasn't the score bomb.
Yeah, that was it was one of the areas I was talking about. It was just extremely dangerous.
Yeah. And the next extremely dangerous section is coming up with the 4 big choppers. I forgot their name. But
yeah.
You can almost no bomb it, but it requires some pretty precise routing. It doesn't look like he's doing it. So he might get trapped at the wall here. Yeah, he bombed.
Yeah.
That's a good bomb. It's a very common bomb spot. Shouldn't need any more bombs though.
Yeah, and worth noting that, I mean, he hasn't made a mistake yet here in the loop. So he still has a lot of resources to play with. And since his goal is not as ambitious with the scoring, at the moment he's in a really good situation. All right, Mogwai about to hit Vinogradov, the stage 3 mid-boss again. CSG just passing Trafalgar and now coming up to the end stretch of stage 5.
SPS showing some really impressive routes right now.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
Oh man, the around the world's here.
Yeah,
there
that's
you
really
go.
Cool.
Oh, that's so cool. I've seen Mogwai do something similar here. It looks so incredibly dangerous, but with the right timing, it's actually a very reasonable option.
Yeah, I've never actually seen Moglar die to it. In recent memory, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's probably something where you just have to like make a judgment call. Like, is it safe to go for it? And then if it's not, you bomb. If it is, you just do it. Nice handling of the Nightmare from CSG there. And that's the descent done. Still on pace. Nice. 2 minutes left on the reset timer. This is getting close. CSG is pretty much going to be locked in here, and Moglar probably already is locked in, unless he makes a mistake, like, imminently.
Also, the second loops don't have empty locking, like almost whatsoever. You can sometimes keep lasering for some extra ships during mid-bosses, but it's extremely minor. And while we didn't talk about empty locking, it's basically, I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's a huge optimization point. And pushing past like 240 mil is quite difficult without ever using an empty lock.
I mentioned it briefly, but we didn't go into a lot of detail on it.
Yeah. It's a very tricky input, so I'm sure some players are relieved that they don't have to keep doing it in the second loop.
Okay, oh no! Is he gonna reset? There's 45 seconds left.
Yeah.
He's going for the reset. Wow.
Yeah, he has to.
Oh man, okay.
He really has no time whatsoever.
That's brutal.
He probably doesn't know the timer, that's why he's not having the helicopter right now.
Yeah, I really, really hope that he can lose all of his lives in time. That's pretty spooky. He's playing on the arcade PCB, so he can't just do a quick reset. He has to actually suicide all of his lives away.
Yeah. Looks like he's just barely in time, though. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is real spooky. As long as there's no score entry, should be okay. Oh, man.
I think there is, actually.
God. Okay, there you go. There you go. Woo! 3 seconds left on the clock. All right, players are locked in. Woo! Okay. Meanwhile, SPS hitting 2-3 mid-boss here. Man, this fight is so much scarier in the loop.
Yeah, by the way, X91 is still no miss.
Yeah.
So he's going to use a plan bomb on his first one, because this first attack is actually ridiculous.
First attack is completely stupid. Yeah, good timing on it too. Delaying it that much.
Oof.
Ooh! Okay, okay.
Yeah, ideally you would delay it so you can iframe the third wave too, but you really have to make an on-the-fly decision.
Yeah. And probably going for the pontoon cancel here, just a second. Yep. Whoa. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, it should be free from 2-3. No missing to 2-4 is very good.
Yeah.
He's probably not gonna keep this for too much longer, because 2-4 is pretty hellish in Oro.
Wow, what a solid run so far. Okay, here's SPS in the second phase. Moglar coming up on the final ascent before Cinderella now. Back to deal with the first nightmare. Oh no. You can't reset anymore, CSG. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's a real shame. He's probably giving up.
Oh no.
It's really heartbreaking considering how close he got.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, X91 just died. That's why his puny laser. But just picked up the power items. Also had to use a bomb right at the start there. I don't know. I missed the death, so I don't know exactly how I died.
SPS just got sideswiped by one of the I forget what they're called, the bigger Delta Wing enemies in the opening of Stage 4. Oof, man, what a brutal moment just for all the players involved here. Looks like CSG's now continuing to play through, question mark.
Yeah.
After losing 2 of his stock there in 1-1, that's, man, after such a good previous run, he looked like he was in really good shape up until that death. Alright, SPS now hitting Loop 2 Black Draft. And X91 onto the Loop 2 Nightmare. Nicely handled there.
Yeah, he still has 2 bombs as well, so
yeah,
that should probably keep him covered for the rest of the stage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a really easy spot to get trapped.
Yeah, that looked scary. There's a bit of a screen drift going on that will actually help you to not get cornered, but it ends like basically where you bomb.
Yeah, that last Landmaster there is kind of right at the wrong spot for that.
Yeah. Oof. Oh! That was terrifying.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, he still had a bomb left, so that's really unfortunate. It looked like he got a bit thrown off by that nasty dodge he had to do. He's probably gonna bomb this last nightmare too. Unless. No.
Oh.
It's completely fine.
Or just go for it. Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, Moglar just still on it here with looks like 164 at the start of stage 1-5. That's pretty solid right now. And SPS already at 410. Yeah, I believe Moglar is still on Aura pace. unless he's bombed at some point, but he has not missed for sure.
I don't think you can have max bombs here if you bombed. So it should be
Yeah,
fine.
okay, I think you're right, yeah. SPS on the Nightmares now. And, oh, okay, good bomb there from X91. Loop 2 Cinderella is really mean.
He might bomb this too, because yeah.
Okay.
Just at the end there. But at least he... Okay. I just remember that this pattern is absolutely harmless in a row. It does nothing. This is a force bomb, this last pattern. It's not doable.
Yeah, it's very silly. There you go. Nice. And there's Moglar just coming up on Trafalgar and leaving the helicopter alive there to get some 5 chips off the turret. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, managed to 5 chip the turret.
That can be pretty spooky because you have to be so close to the helicopter for a little while there while it's... and you don't have much time because once Trafalgar comes on, you have to be locked on the turret right away or you're going to get hit.
Yeah. It's very impressive to see how much higher SPS's score is over X91. Even though he has died a lot more, and that's a huge setback for Loop 2.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm curious what it'll be like at the end of Stage 4, after the stage bonuses. Just to see, like, because X91 has the advantage of the 2-4 stage bonus right now, whereas SPS doesn't yet. Just kind of compare those splits would be quite interesting. Moglar setting up empty locks on the Taco there. Alright, so yeah, that's 525 into 2.5 from SPS versus I think it was like 404, 405 into 2.5 from X91. Still both spectacular runs, but yeah, that really is fascinating to think about. Like, even though SPS has made many more mistakes, his scoring and routing is a little bit more fine-tuned and is able to more than compensate for that, even though the end of stage bonuses are such a critical part of score in this game.
Yeah.
All right, Moglar here about to come up on the Stage 5 Descent Nightmare. Come on. Nice. And X91 grabbing the fixed 1-up right before Trafalgar. Really well positioned right now in terms of resources.
Yeah, he might actually clear with this.
Yeah, assuming no choke, I think he's in a really good position.
Yeah, definitely. 2-5 is extremely difficult, but even though this amount of resources is very solid.
I mean, Stage 5 in general is very, very difficult. 2.5 just kind of pushes everything all the way to the limit. Man, the sick empty lock there. Just, it looks so spooky. It's not actually that dangerous, but it looks so spooky when all those Zako are rushing you at that part of Stage 5 there.
Yeah. The more difficult part of it is setting it up, because those tiger clones control you pretty hard.
Definitely.
I was playing Panzer, but I barely got it.
I'm on Moglar.
It looks like X91 took a hit, though I missed it.
Yeah, he did. I didn't see it either. I was too busy being very, very nervous for Moglar right now.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got it. He's got this.
Yeah, I believe in him.
SPS at 440. 448. Wow. Number going up. Also, Moglar's counter over 7,000 for the total counter coming into Evacueer. That is really, really, really solid.
Yep. I don't think even SPS got 7,000. In fact, Moglar is so good at loop 1, you can pretty much expect over 280 mil every single time.
Well, okay, that was a little unorthodox there, but all right. You know, if it works.
Yeah.
Come on. I can't even like breathe right now. There's so much happening. X91 moving through the descent here, and now really funky play through the cutback section there, but that was nice.
I think he actually no-bombed it. That's pretty...
He did no-bomb it. That was really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. He's being trolled by the Tiger clones.
Oh my god, Muggler! Come on. Yeah, there you go. Alright, an SPS.
277. Okay. I think he's actually playing a bit safe in loop 1, but that's understandable, considering the 30-minute timer.
SPS still another hit. In fact, I think he took 2 hits since the last time I looked over there, so that's spooky.
Yeah.
X91 coming into a Iconier loop 2 with hopefully 4 stock, assuming...
Yeah, he can bomb this. He doesn't look like he wants to, though.
Okay. Okay, yeah, good bomb. Man, okay. Yeah, that's a bit spooky there.
Yeah, the Panzer clones have the highest regular item enemy value in the game, so it's not just... You'd lose a lot if you if you decide to bomb them. So that's why he's holding off a bit, and also to make the last section easier.
Yeah, and CSG still going for it here. Looks like he's still in the game, maybe going for Omote. It looks like he's still on 1-4 at the moment.
Yeah. He died, well, he suicided once as well in stage 1.
Good
so
bomb there.
He missed another spot after that.
Yeah. Good bomb there from SPS. It was a very unfortunate layup of the missiles from some of the clones there.
Yeah, also X91 is looking not too great with resources right now.
Yeah, a couple more mistakes there right at the end, unfortunately.
Hopefully he can carry this last life into Doom pretty far.
Come on.
Okay.
Oh!
Yeah, this is going to be tight.
There was nothing left. Oh, that's brutal. I was really thinking he was going to get a cancel there and beat the boss right before.
Yeah.
All right, well, here with Doom. Oh, boy. Okay. The first couple patterns from Doom are pretty manageable. There is some randomness to them, so they're certainly not, super consistent, but it is relatively straightforward. Nice play so far.
Yeah, the hard one is definitely the red spread with the blue aim bullets, and he has bombed it. The rest are very, very doable.
If you get really unlucky with the blue waves, they can really trap you, but yeah. And now, God, this pattern is, Moglar makes this pattern just look so easy.
Yeah, he's super consistent at it, but I do think that's a rarity, and SPS just game over on evac.
Oh my gosh, wow.
I didn't get to see his score though.
I didn't either. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, X91 needs a really good Doom final now.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's not bad RNG. You get some damage in. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, honestly. I think he can clear with this.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get too greedy.
Okay, let's hope this last wave cooperates. Yeah. He should clear this, definitely. Holy shit, that was so good.
Nice! All right, congratulations to X91. Wow. What an interesting run.
Yeah,
like
it's really sick.
Really, like, very high scoring, but still a little bit safe in some spots for the first loop. And then second loop played much more safe, but still managed to maintain a lot of the same like score bonuses just because he was playing so safe. Such consistent survival.
Yeah.
And then carrying those resources through, and after kind of a nasty choke there, still managing to clear. What a spectacular run. Ooh, SPS taking a couple hits here against Doom. Bomb there from Moglar got trapped in the corner. That's really unfortunate, but again, that's a really difficult section. Yeah, it looks like SPS did not finish the Doom fight, and you cannot continue doing the fight, I believe.
Still had a higher score than SPS, apparently. I mean, X91. But
yeah, I think it ends up being significantly higher. I'm curious to see what the final number is for X91.
It's 461, I believe.
461, okay. Oh, that's actually not that different then. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's still quite close to his PB, so he should be happy with this. I'm sure he is. Like, looping Aura on a live run just like that is no
yeah,
joke.
I mean, the fact that 3 of the 4 players made it to Aura is really incredible.
Yeah.
And SPS making it all the way to 2-5, especially scoring as highly as he was. Again, absolutely nothing to laugh at there. Like, that's still spectacular play.
And CHG got extremely close to looping as well.
Yes. Yeah, he was right there. And he was more than qualified. And then just that one little slip up. And Ketsui's just very unforgiving. Especially Aura. No miss, no bomb the entire first loop. Have fun.
Yeah. I'm curious where Moglar's first bomb was. I missed it, unfortunately. Oh,
he bombed twice in 2-2. He got walled the first time. Like he was going to try to go around to the right of some revenge bullets. And ooh, okay.
It was probably a bit. It was probably a bit behind schedule on damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was hoping for a cancel there. It just didn't quite come. Yeah, and then the second one I think you probably saw was
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that 342 into 2-3?
Yeah, it's 342.
Damn.
So it's a really good score.
Yeah, that's really, really good. That's really good.
I think Moglar has the best loop 2 out of any player. So his scoring is definitely top tier.
Yeah, certainly his ILPVs are spectacular. Like, if he has the run, it will be a sight to behold, for sure.
Yeah, he also has a run starting with 2-2, which scores 299 million, I believe, and it's a 1 miss. So...
Oh, that was a little spooky there at the top. Really nice movement there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty scary. The other revenge bullets are pretty satanic, honestly.
Yeah, they don't mess around. And the thing that's really funky about them is that the revenge bullets are spawned over time. Like they're spawned kind of for every explosion that the enemy would normally generate a chip from. And so as a result, when you have larger enemies that explode multiple times, they can be generating revenge bullets for like a second or two. And you know, it's easy to be close to a small enemy when you kill it and seal all the bullets from it, but sitting right on top of a large enemy for like 2 full seconds, you kind of can't do that most of the time. You have to route yourself to be somewhere else. And as a result, there's a lot of sections like that where you just have to let bullets come on the screen and they're going to do what they want to do. And hopefully it's a situation that you can react to. And the pufferfish here, that was really well handled, but that section is so hard on the loop.
Helicopters. There's two next to the wall here, and yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty terrifying section.
Yeah, the pause and shooting there just to create like a little gap in the revenge bullets, and then try to sneak on through there, cut through. Really nice. Curious what's going to happen here with the golden back glider. Come on. Yeah, stay at the bottom of the screen here. Nice. Oh, okay. I think he got trapped a bit.
Yeah, also bullet that was in a bad spot and he got a bit scared.
Yeah. Meanwhile, CSG looking like 201 million despite the early deaths. Still going for an Omote. Although a little low on resources right now, but we'll see what happens. Wishing the best of luck here with Ava.
think the second form is actually quite consistent for most players. It looks scary, but...
For Evacuneer?
No, the 2-3 boss.
Oh, yeah.
I think the timings are less strict as well, because you don't need to empty lock. You just have to shot kill the second form and that's it.
Yeah, that's the impression I get as well. That the first phase is really the scary part for the 2-3 fight.
31 million in stage clear bonus.
Wow.
That's at 399 million.
Okay. Wow. And for comparison, X91 coming into 2.5 was 405, and SPS coming into 2.5 was 421, 422, something like that. So, yeah, that's really... Oh, that's from CSG. Oh, I think he's... Oh, okay. Bummer. Okay. And that is CSG out?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, he can't reset anymore, but
yeah,
he still did a great show early on with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really bummed that first run took the hit the way it did, because it had so much promise at that point. Like, just really well set up for the loop. And I like that he gave it a shot here as well. Just made it all the way back through the game, and even 206 million. I mean, that's a lot better than I can do in the first loop. So still playing really well even after making some serious mistakes and losing some lives early in that run. This is a little bit of a milk on Black Draft, right? That he was going for there?
Yeah, I believe so. It also is way safer.
Yeah.
So you don't have to dodge the bad pattern for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
Especially as Tiger, it's not something you want to do.
Still going for the... Oh, man. Okay.
That sucks.
The fact that he even went for it, though, like... Oh,
yeah.
That's just so cool. Gotta be careful with the movement here. Nice.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, you just don't want to over dodge it in that section, or you will get walled at the end. But like you were saying before, the screen movement does actually make it a little bit easier. Oh, he just missed the kill down there. That's brutal.
Yeah.
It's going to be another bomb in a second, though, so...
I'm not sure if he does bomb these nightmares, actually.
No, I don't. I said he's going to collect another... Sorry. I meant he was going to collect another bomb.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he does do a bomb here, unless something goes wrong. Ooh! Nice little cutback there. Yeah. One thing that's really cool to watch in Aura especially is like how much of the screen the players need to move across in order to manipulate the bullets that are coming from the enemy. Like you really need to be exaggerated with your movements in order to create openings for yourself. It's always really fun to see, especially in sections like that. Also, the crazy point blanking at the first phase of Nightmare. Not Nightmare, Cinderella. I love that.
Yeah. Basically has to do it because otherwise it's not guaranteed he can kill it before he has to go around the boss.
And you definitely want to kill it before that pattern.
Yeah.
This one right here. Yeah, nice. There you go. Yeah, good bomb there. It's going to get tagged by the tip of that blue wing.
He might bomb this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yep.
I know he doesn't like that pattern very much, so it's understandable.
Loop 2 Cinderella just has so much going on.
Yeah.
And then we're probably going to see another bomb here in just a second.
Yeah, basically no one ever no bombs this. Because the red bullets just keep going further and further out, and at some point you can't like even move.
All right, so let's see what 444. Wow.
And that's a lot of fours in his score right now.
Yeah. 4444. Hang on though. Wait for it.
If he starts using the lock-on shot, we might miss it.
Yeah, I think we did there.
I still at 3, but yeah.
All right, there we go. So
yeah, we skipped it.
4 for just a second there. That was good. And again, with the really aggressive movement here, like misdirecting the turret fire and then all of the revenge bullets off to one side to create an opening to sweep over to the left and actually take out the turret and then sweep back over to the right. Like it's really exaggerated, but it's really fun to watch. Wow, the point blank there, that was slick. Just a little tiny bit of a movement through the spread.
Honestly, Mogler makes it look easy, but
yeah,
I can assure you that her loop is
it's
not easy. It's just a struggle from start to finish.
Absolutely. It is incredibly, brutally difficult. And the fact that it looks so clean and so consistent here is really just a testament to how well, frankly, all of these players have learned the game.
Definitely. If you're making Ura loop look easy, then you're doing something right.
Yeah. Oop, missed a couple locks there.
Oh.
But he did get the one up, and that's always something.
There's still 3 bombs left though, so that's a bit of a shame. I think he had 3.
I think he had none, actually. I think that's
None?
why he didn't bomb there.
Oh.
Because I think he had no miss since the start of stage 5, and he used his last bomb on the last pattern of Cinderella.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My memory's bad right now.
So, okay, I was going to say that was a bit premature, but he actually ended up locking on the top turret for the cancel that I would normally expect.
Yeah.
So in Loop 2, you always want to be canceling that sort of red and blue needle pattern. You don't ever want to actually dodge that. And he managed to get that correctly there. So nice. Curious how much of a Zako rush we'll get off of this.
Yeah, it didn't look like full size to me, actually, so it probably isn't. Yeah, because these revenge builds are just... Yeah, that's not a full Zako rush. That's probably like 60%, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because normally you'd want to cancel the first form when it shoots like 3 circles of bullets of the blue-red circle pattern.
Right.
But he intentionally went to the corner to stall it for a while still keeping his lock on.
Oh, that was... Almost ran into that one last revenge bullet there. Okay. 2-5 descent. This is terrifying. Oh.
Are we bombing this? Yep.
Yeah. Get out of here. Oh, nice.
He actually stopped shooting for a bit because I think he wants to skip some of the enemies he's not prepared for.
Yeah. I think you can get a second one of those bonus planes down there if you're really fast at it. And
if you're really fast, you can actually get 3 of them.
Oh, you get 3? Oh.
Yeah. It's a common multi-score bomb.
The bomb would have gotten you there, but of course, if you don't want to fight them, then you have to delay the kill on the nightmare itself.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have a route for doing 3 of them, so...
Yeah, good bomb. This section is just stupid in a loop.
Yeah. you'd actually score higher using that bomb, but of course you lose a bomb that you can later use on the bosses.
Right.
So if you miss, then it's not a score game, of course. That is not an intentional bomb.
Yeah, that was definitely not an intentional bomb. His multiplier is really, really solid right now. I'm not sure what his like stage counter split is supposed to be for 2-5. So I can't really comment on where that is, but his multiplier management is incredible right now.
Yeah. Hopefully these Panzer clones will behave, and it looks really good.
Come on. Yeah.
He did a perfect.
Nice. That was beautiful. You're at 491. Holy crap.
His multiplier is quite good too.
Yeah.
This bomb stock, it's basically inevitable. He takes another hit, but this is going to be a really good score.
Yeah. His goal for this run was 500 million. He is easily going to surpass that.
Yeah. He got to 500 millions while preparing for this, and those scores are going to be eclipsed by this one, for sure.
Yeah. Certainly looks that way. His management of the Loop 2 AVAC and Doom fights is also very, very consistent from my experience. So
yeah.
Ooh, dodging is right up at the top to maximize the damage. That's pretty swag.
Yeah, it might also be easier in our loop. I'm not sure.
Whew. And here we go. Here's Doom. I think that was No Miss No Bomb AVAC. Loop 2.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's interesting there. Why do you think he started with the lock shot out at the very side, like without locking onto Doom?
I'm not sure actually. It might be that
movement.
It might be that it's difficult to get back to the corner in time with the Tiger's slow lock speed.
That could make sense, yeah.
And all that really matters on this phase is if you skip that pattern or not, and I think he does that regardless of using lock shot immediately or not.
Yeah. All right, and now the famous like missile pattern here.
Yeah, but yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but Moglar is extremely consistent at it.
It's just, it's
he
so
basically
incredible
never
to
bombs it.
Yeah. He just makes it look, I don't even want to say easy, because it doesn't look easy.
It still looks really hard,
but he makes it look like doable, like a thing that a human being can accomplish.
Yeah. He's probably not
man.
No Miss No Bombing this.
Whoa!
He's making a valiant effort. He's getting pretty good luck here, so he can keep making these.
Holy crap.
He might actually No Miss No Bomb. No. Yeah, just barely. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah! There you go.
It's probably 530.
Yeah.
535.
Oh, the stream just cut for a second. What's going on?
537.
537. Yo! That is
that's
a
really good.
phenomenal score. Wow. Wow. Congratulations, Moglar. Wow.
That's really sick.
Yeah, congratulations to all of the runners. Especially it was great to see 3 of the 4 make it into Ura. But that was what a way to cap it off, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was a bit worried he wouldn't loop for a while, but
yeah, me too. After the reset timer hit and he was still in stage 5, I'm like, oh god, what's gonna happen? But yeah, he crushed it. Absolutely demolished it. Wow, well played, everyone. So I believe all 3 players will be playing Black Label Strong Style. Strong Style in Black Label.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll fix the overlay.
You miss Sario.
Strong Style, for those who have not played Daifukkatsu Black Label, is a little more similar to like a ultra mode kind of, where it's a much more difficult version of the same basic mechanics that you'll find in the other two gameplay modes. So it does still have the same benefits as Strong Style in DFK 1.5, namely the ship is powered up both in shot and in laser strength. But you have to deal with much more dense bullet patterns. And since it has the Black Label gimmick of the red meter, which we'll get into in a little bit more detail in a second, those patterns are going to get even more dense than they already are as part of the way that players interact with the game.
Okay, so I think it's good to talk about the goals of each player first.
Yep.
So for Silver Scar, he wants to score about 1 trillion and by being weak just to that and defeat the boss. For Sario, the Japanese player on the right, he wants to defeat just to that movies. So most of the run will be about survival. Not about the middle player, Igon. I don't exactly know about the goal, but it seems he's into scoring.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting to note that Sario is using Type A. Type A is pretty uncommon in Daifukkatsu because it doesn't have good coverage on the sides of the ship. So for canceling bullets, it can be very difficult if they're coming from the sides and kind of perpendicular to the player. And that does happen, especially in stage 4 and 5. But I imagine that if you're trying to no-miss the TLB, the extra forward damage is probably really useful. So I suspect that's a big part of the ship choice there.
Yeah, you can actually no-miss that to there with Type B, but it's very hard. Type A is a bit easier.
Okay. So the hyper system in this game results in the player canceling incoming bullets. And again, this is something that's going to be very familiar to those who have played Daifukkatsu, but for anyone who was watching the DaiOuJou runs earlier, in that game the hyper is only a sort of scoring and extra damage tool. Here it actually interacts with the bullets and can be used to directly counter incoming enemy bullets. In fact, it's called the hyper counter system in-game. So one thing we'll see all the players doing is utilizing the hyper as a sort of defensive tool to intercept incoming bullets and shoot them down.
Okay, so about Black Label and OG player is playing strong, which is basically the second look of the game. So this, how do I? It's much harder.
Unlike regular Daifukkatsu, Black Label does not have a second loop by default. It's a one loop game. But you can play the second loop patterns if you pick the strong style at the start of the game, which, as we mentioned, all three players are doing. There's also a secondary difficulty mechanic in addition to the ship type that you've chosen, and that in Black Label is the red gauge, which is that bar in the upper right corner of the screen that at the moment is red for all three players. It initially starts empty, but as the players use the
shot
laser, which unlike other Dodonpachi games in Daifukkatsu Black Label, if you use rapid shot and hold down the main fire button, you will fire your shot and your laser at the same time. This has a lot of benefits. It deals extra damage. It allows you to maintain chain on big enemies. It allows you to push back incoming lasers, all kinds of great stuff. But using the shot laser increases the red gauge, and when the red gauge goes above the red line, it dramatically increases the difficulty of incoming enemy fire. However, having it above the red line also increases the scoring opportunities and increases the rate at which you build hyper, I believe. Is that correct, Spino?
Yes, I believe so. Oh yeah, and also when you use shot and laser and you kill certain enemies, you will cancel your own bullets.
Right.
So that's another benefit.
And the bullets that are canceled are directly turned into hits for your chain gauge. So by using the shot laser against particularly large enemies that fill the screen with a particularly large amount of bullets, you can very rapidly build up a very high hit count, which is going to be useful for all three players, but particularly for Aiden and Silver Star, since they seem to be more focused on scoring rounds.
Yeah.
That's also probably why they're choosing Type B. Type B has a notable advantage in Black Label in that it has really good coverage on the sides. And once the red meter is maxed out, if you cancel bullets when they're in very close proximity to your ship or to the ship options, the bullets will be canceled into large stars. And the majority of the scoring in Black Label comes from the collection of those star items and collecting them specifically at a high hit count. Another thing that will result in the generation of stars is the B pickups on the ground. So you saw here from Serio, he picked up some hidden Bs when they were in a flashing white state. So those Bs have 3 different states. They have a gold state, which just cancels enemies bullets on the screen into small star items. They have a green state, which gives you hypermeters. And they have a flashing white state, where they're temporarily in between the green and the gold state. When they're flashing, they cancel all bullets on the screen into large stars. And so by waiting for a lot of bullets to be on the screen and then going for one of those big cancels, you're able to cash out for a lot of score or very rapidly build up your hit counter.
Yeah, it's just like what the second Japanese player did. He just go to the side and crack a B to get instant 1k hits. So that's very nice. Okay.
So right here, for example, Silver Star just took out that large tank with the shot laser, and as a result was able to get a couple hundred bullets off of it, and again like 150 bullets off of it, and those are directly added to the hit counter. So that's going to be a really common recurring thing here.
A lot of the enemies in this game cancel their own bullets. However, the small enemies like the small tanks and the red helicopters, they can cancel their own bullets, so they are very dangerous.
The other thing to keep in mind is that there is a hyper rank mechanic. So the more times you use the hyper, the more difficult it becomes to intercept incoming bullets. And similarly, the more of these danger lasers are generated by the game when you're in the hyper state. But having higher hyper rank actually can conversely allow you to get more hits off on the bullets. So it can also be useful in some situations. Although I think that's more of a factor in other modes of Daifukkatsu.
Oh, Silver Star got a reset. He got on the schedule boss.
Okay. Yeah, the players still have another 20 minutes to reset. And in fact, I think Silver Star and Aiden have both reset a couple times already. Serio coming up to the fixed 1-up, which is underneath this big thing that's spewing bullets all over the screen. Killing with shot laser, get 910 extra hits from that, and then collecting the 1-up for beating it without using a bomb. Very nice.
Oh, by the way, aside from the B items, collecting the bomb item or the 1-up item also cancel bullets into small stars.
Yeah. Black Label is a lot about canceling bullets into stars.
By watching, you can cancel bullets instead.
Nice. The other thing you can do is you can actually cancel out of your hyper. And that's a mechanic that's unique to the Black Label version of the game. In 1.5, you cannot cancel out of a hyper once you've started it. But in Black Label Arrange, etc., you can cancel a hyper after you've started it, and canceling it will give you another brief period of invulnerability. So you get iframes on starting the hyper, you get iframes on canceling the hyper, and while you're in the hyper, you can cancel incoming bullets by shooting them down. So it's very, very useful as a defensive tool. And it also contributes to your score very significantly by allowing you to build up larger and larger chains. Here you see Aiden, as I mentioned earlier, using those options to cancel bullets into large stars by kind of staying at the edge of the screen and allowing bullets to be intercepted by a hyper.
Yeah. Although that only works in low hacker rank and high hacker rank, the bullet will start spawning revenge bullet or suicide bullets when you cancel them, which are the pink bullets you see chasing him over there.
Yeah, you can still kind of do it, but it gets significantly more dangerous. You can't just sit in one spot. You have to continuously move and account for the fact that there's going to be more bullets coming in.
Also, we got the higher rank. So because they are playing strong, so the higher rank doesn't really get reduced much because if you're playing bomb or power in black Lego, at the next stage your higher rank will be reset to 0. But with strong, your higher rank will pretty much be set to less at the next stage, so it's very dangerous. It's
I
pretty
didn't know
crazy.
about that actually. That's awesome. Just stays up all the time. That's good.
Yeah.
Another important distinction comparing Black Label to regular Daifukkatsu is that the hyper and bomb systems are actually interlinked. So you'll notice in the bottom left corner of the screen, the there's like a B and an H, and it keeps shifting back and forth. So you have bombs and hypers are actually a shared resource. And whenever you fill the hyper gauge all the way, you actually generate one more stock on that gauge. So you can use multiple hypers in a row without needing to completely fill up the hyper gauge in between. But you do not necessarily have all of the survival resources that you might in, again, for comparison, Daifukkatsu 1.5. So you don't have all of these bombs to play around with if you're using them as hypers. You have to kind of strategically decide whether you want to use them for scoring or for, kind of like panic situations.
Yeah, bomb is pretty much only used for stage 5 boss, Shooty, because she is just so hard.
Yeah, Shooty is completely absurd in Black Label Strong. Some of the mid bosses get pretty nuts and strong as well. Like Reiko here. It's interesting though, because in some ways it's trivialized by the shot laser, like the ability to push back the big shoulder cannons here by using the powered up shot laser and then also cancel incoming bullets with hyper means you don't have to deal with it quite as much. Interesting there from Sadio that the mid boss was so high up on the screen, like almost completely off the screen there.
Yeah, when we got is I'll go for the screen or nearly off screen. It will take less damage when you fire at it.
Yeah. So now here, there was some delay that Saito was using on each of those mid-sized enemies before killing them with the shot laser in order to generate more bullets on the screen for a better cancel. So even though their goal is no miss, mostly survival, they're still emphasizing some scoring here because it's also a more reliable way to get through this part of the game.
Yeah, agree. Also, I remember Sayo told me that he wants to get about 27 to 29,000 hits in stage 4. This is because of the last hit mechanic you see on the top left. This is because in stage 5, the laser wheels, the last hit controls the density of the laser wheels. So, yeah, the more last hit you get, the denser the laser wheels.
I knew that was true in a range, but I didn't know that was also for regular Black Label. That's cool.
It's also true Black Label. Therefore, Zero wants to get exactly that amount of hits so that he can get through the laser wheels more easily. So he must control his hit count not to be too high and not to be too low. So
looks like we got another reset from Silver Star.
Yeah. Skate
really
1 and 2 is rough.
Yeah, really, really optimal scoring setups here. Not much room for error. Meanwhile, Sadio kind of making Stage 4 look easy, which is really remarkable, especially on Black Label Strong. There's really a lot of stuff that this stage throws at you very, very quickly. And again, playing a ship type that does not have much in the way of shot width to clear out stuff coming at you from the sides. And yet, the screen's staying pretty empty, which is really quite an accomplishment.
Yeah. As stated earlier, the Type A in Black Label is extremely strong, and because of the shot and laser, you can pretty much guessing that everything is fast.
Yeah, it does very good focus damage.
So, Sarah is in stage 4 boss now. It has been 1 miss so far, so that's very good.
Yeah.
And also, for the Z2Z requirement, you need to kill all bosses with red meter full, and you have to no miss until Golden Disaster is defeated.
Oh, yeah.
So it's quite hard. Although one good thing about the goal is only have one loop, so even if Sayo make a mistake in Sky 5, he can still reset.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Also, I believe that the players are playing with no auto bomb,
Yeah.
which is another mechanical choice that you can make. So unlike in regular, whoa, what is happening on Aiden's stream?
Yeah, that's a safe spot for strong. It looks really
That's
nice.
So cool.
It looks like you're sitting in the sun. Oh my god, that looks so good.
That's awesome. Oh man, that's really good.
Oh man.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that is so 1,446 hits. Holy shit.
Very nice. Oh man. And
So
yeah, Silverstar setting up
Sayo
these B pickups to get maximum cancels here. So Sayo already into stage 5. Aiden coming up on stage 3, and Silverstar now about to hit the stage 2 mid boss.
Stage mid boss. So.
Worth noting, this is the Omote stage 2 mid boss, and he wants to be on Ura by stage 5, because he wants to fight the Ura stage 5 mid bosses. So
yeah. Okay. Something about in VL is that the V is no longer requiring to fight the 2 last bosses. So that means you can stay in Omote as long as you want. So what most players do is get stay in Sky 2, Sky 1 and Sky 2 in Omote, and get spend the rest of the Sky 2 in Ura.
Mhm.
Because Sky 1 and Sky 2 Omote is much easier than the Ura version.
Makes sense. Reset from Aiden there.
Another reset.
Looks like a mistake in the stage 3 mid. Or
Yes.
stage 3 at beginning.
Oh, something about the mid boss too. If you die or bomb during the mid boss, you get kicked out of the Ura route.
Right.
So,
Oh, another reset from Silverstar.
So that's why in his notes, Silverstar said he is afraid of stage 4 boss. Because if he die here, his score is reaching not over. It's very hard.
Yeah, Silverstar mentioned when I was talking to him before the run that he had some concerns about the possibility of making a mistake to a mid boss in stage 4 or particularly stage 5, because that would really throw off the routes for stage 5 if he has to fight the Omote mid bosses. It's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, so Sayo is approaching the KFK descent. And if you notice, he doesn't have his rage gate is empty. So I assume he goes it for survival, right?
I would assume so, yeah. It's quite interesting to see like just kind of sitting there with the hyper out and not really having to worry about much of anything.
Yeah.
It's not something I normally associate with Plague on Strong.
The Hyper Cancel is really strong in Black Label.
Alright, coming up on the laser wheels now.
Oh boy.
This is where the fun begins. Remember that there is no auto bomb right now, to my knowledge, meaning that any stray bullet can immediately end the no miss portion of this run and prompt a reset. There is still 10 minutes left on the reset timer.
It's just so scary, especially just how dense the laser wheel is.
Yeah, the positioning here is so tight. Wow. Okay, yeah, hyper there. Okay, nice. And then canceling out of the hyper for the extra iframes. And note that exiting hyper there actually cleared the red gauge. So that's another thing that you can use intentionally. Is,
it cuts your red gauge by 50%.
Yeah. And bombing can actually be used to raise the red gauge. So there are situations like against some bosses where you might want to fight the majority of the boss. Probably not for score, but like for a survival run, for example, you might want to fight the majority of the boss at a low red gauge, but then right at the end, if you use a bomb, you can use that to crank up the red all the way to max.
Yeah. Oh my. This part is probably the hardest part in the laser wheel session. Just look at that. You can
super short hyper.
Wow.
That was clean. Oh no! And there's the restart. Oh, that's such a bummer. So deep into the run and then having to restart. Yeah. That's gotta sting.
Thankfully, it's not a dual game.
Right. Yeah.
Because I have heard about the game. So Black Label used to be a dual game, but it was scrapped at the last minute before release. That's good.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So, was Strong Style always meant to be like the Loop 2, or was that also a last minute change?
That's a last minute change. So I think Cave intended to let Bong and Foul also play second loop as well, but in the end it changed.
Okay.
It's a good change because I don't think you can even use Bong for this kind of difficulty.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah, it'd be very different, I think, if this game had a loop.
So, an interesting thing about Cyro using Ura route in stage 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is not because Ura version is easier, but just because he wants to challenge himself, so he wants to Ura all stages. It's more a personal challenge.
So just to get this clear, in addition to the no miss Zatsusa, he also wants to do all stages Ura just because he can.
Yes.
That's awesome. All right. Oh wow. Just showing off over here. All right.
Yeah, because you playing survival Skate 1 and 2 isn't that difficult, the skill.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I suppose for the first couple stages, if you are already going to do Ura Stage 3, like doing Ura Stage 1 and 2 really isn't that different. But it's still funny that's the motivation for it. And we're so used to seeing these runs motivated by like some very specific esoteric scoring goal, and in this case, it's just like no, because it seemed like a fun challenge. Like okay, I can respect that. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's fun to have personal challenges. Anyway, Agen is reaching schedule boss now.
So is Silverstar.
So, here's a thing about the bond item. So if you collect a bond item while your bond slot is full, you get an extra bond slot. So Breath of the Wild is more about a game where you need to control your hyper and bond usage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a game where you want to, despite kind of the absurdity of everything that's happening on the screen at all times, there's actually a lot of strategy to how you're managing your resources in Black Label, because they are limited and they are interlinked. You really want to be careful with when you're hypering, when you're bombing, and when you're trying to rebuild those things.
Interesting how Silver Scar and Agen, they're in the same almost route, but yet the hit count is vastly different than this score too.
Yeah, in fact, it looks like Silver Star, I'm not sure if there was a miss that I did not see, or if they actually have not, if Silver Star didn't get the second extend yet. Because I'm noticing the stock is different.
Second extend yet.
Okay.
It hasn't reached 50 billion yet.
Okay.
Oh man, that save spot.
This save spot is so satisfying to watch. Just
just so fucking good. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, sorry. Boom, another.
Yeah, 1449. That's good. So check out these B pickups here from Silver Star, just waiting until the screen's flooded with bullets and then sliding over to grab the B right when it's flashing. Went from a couple hundred to 6,000 hits over the course of just the first few seconds of stage 3, and that's really pretty typical for Black Label at this optimal level. It's like you really want to be canceling everything at the start of the stage to try to build up that hit counter as fast as you can.
Oh, by the way, if you're playing in the PCB arcade, if you collect a B item with that when you put it on screen, the screen will literally start to get glitching. like you strike a gong or something.
Oh yeah, I've heard that the player's chip actually disappears if you're playing on the PCB because the sprite limit gets hit pretty hard.
Yeah. But the 3 players all play on Scott 360 or Steam, so that will not happen. It's quite a shame. It's funny to see that happen.
Yeah, in fact, there was a comment in chat. I missed the detail of it, so my apologies to whoever posted it. But someone was saying that it looks like the slowdown difference, it means that one player is playing on PC and the other ones are playing on 360.
Took hate.
Oh, yes. No. Still got a couple minutes to reset. I'm curious if we'll see that or if he's just committed at this point.
He's going to meet Ketsui, so I'm not sure he's going to do that. Because he's already failed the requirement to meet Ketsui.
Yeah. Yeah, unless he restarts, we're not going to see Satis just yet. Oh, and there was a hit from ei de n.
Ouch.
Man.
That's
Stage 3 just
quite a pain.
Really not treating either of them very nicely today.
Yeah.
Both reset here a couple times already.
Scoring live.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like Daifukkatsu stage 3, honestly. Like,
I can tell how many chance a guy like that in stage 3 too. I'll go with bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember a lot of runs ending in stage 3 when I was trying to do almost 2 alls of 1.5, just because it's like if I don't score well enough in stage 3, then my routes are so bad that I'm not going to get the second extend on time. So it's like, okay, well, I better reset. It's so funny. Even, like, I feel like at all levels of play, stage 3 manages to be a wall, and for very different reasons, which I think is pretty fun.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 minutes left before the reset. Let's see if anyone resets.
Yeah, it's getting a little tense now. I'm curious what'll happen.
Yeah, all 3 players against stage 2.
Interestingly, the stock situation seems to have flipped around a bit. Silver Star is back up at 4 stock, and ei de n is only at 3 for the moment because he has not yet collected the fixed 1-up. So we'll see that probably just after the mid-boss here.
Yeah.
Really nice cancel there on the mid-boss.
Oh. Stage 2 boss open at a stage 2 boss first phase can be really hard without a bomb or a hyper. Like you can't even dodge it normally.
Yeah,
I have seen some players actually milking the first phase, but I don't know how to do it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I don't think we will see that in this chat.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that people would milk the first phase, but I guess you can get a few extra hits off of that, and that would be a benefit. So yeah, I can see it. It just seems like a very dangerous section of the boss to try to milk.
Yeah, it's just very dangerous to do.
Speaking of milking, I wonder if we're going to see any stage 4 milking.
I mean, it's pretty much a guarantee thing for Igon and Silver Scar.
Right.
Pretty sure they will do that.
All right, 35 seconds left on the reset timer.
Because if you want to milk in black label, you had to do escape for boss first.
Yeah.
It's an unspoken rule.
All right, now we're about to be locked in here. 10 seconds left. I think all players are committed at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
so
best
we're
of
not
luck.
gonna see Ketsui there from Silver Scar. I hope he gets Hibachi.
Yeah, I hope so too. Really, fingers crossed for Serio here that we
get to see Ketsui there.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a big goal to aim for in a live setting like this. But
Definitely.
It'd be really cool to see. Oh, that was an insane dodge. What?
Yeah.
Silver Star, what was that? What are you doing? Wow.
Yeah, that quick classic can be very, very mean at sometimes.
And yeah, check this out. ei de n doing the milk you're talking about on the first phase. This looks terrifying.
It is. You had to deal with a lot of rulers and God and suicide bullets.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's great. I haven't seen that. That's really something. Okay. Wow. Oh man.
Okay.
Nice
so
nice little cut through from Silver Star there too. That was pretty
Silver Star is about to meet Draco, stage 4 mid boss.
Yeah.
A hellspawn for 1-star players. Maybe for Strong too, I don't know. Use a hacker get immediately. Not gonna risk it.
Yeah, this mid boss can be kind of trivialized with a hyper in Strong because you're able to. The shot laser is so good at countering bullets and countering lasers, and Raiko's main gimmick is the big lasers. Like, if you're in a hyper, the whole fight kind of becomes meaningless.
Because when I watch Silver Scar screen normally, he just dodge get attack without using hyper. But I guess in a live run, he wants to play safety.
Makes sense. Nice movement there from Aiden. That final pattern from loop to Rayan, not Rayan, perfect, is really disorienting. It looks like something you have to make these big sweeping dodges through, but it's really just these little taps.
Yeah. It's not something you can just check dodge like a first loop version.
Yeah.
So Egan's going to crack the item.
Yeah, that was
nice.
That was nice. That's very satisfying. Just the big cancels is very satisfying.
So Silver Scar is buckling a hacker now to cancel all those coolers for juicy scars.
Whoa, and just the slow lead over of everything. Cutting back through it. Wow, that looked crazy. I thought he was going to get hit there from the revenge bullets.
Yeah, it's something only the beat type can do. Not sure about A or C, but I imagine it can do that. Beat type sway. Oh my god.
The sway.
Egan just got killed, I guess. And glass ship.
Oh, I didn't see it. Oh no.
Yeah. Get the glass ship. Sometimes just doesn't want to die with it. Sometimes it has a lot of HP for some reason. I think it's HP random or I think. Okay. So that's a mistake.
Yeah. Well.
And since I can get
and there's Silver Star. Oh no.
Oh
bummer. Okay.
That's a lot of score loss, so
yeah.
And because he lost a gen, so I don't think he will be milking Ray.
And there was another death right there. That's a mistake. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is kind of spooky now. And there's another. I think that might be it from Silver Star. Oh, that's a bummer.
Dang.
He did mention before the run that if he took a death in late stage 4 or early mid stage 5, it probably would be the end of the run. It's just a shame to see it happen like that.
It's just sometimes cool. So, Silver Scar is out. Only 2 left.
His routes have been seeming very impressive. He's posted some really ridiculous scores and stage 5 chain numbers recently. 40, 50,000 hit kind of stuff. I don't think quite 50, but like 45,000 hits in stage 5. And some really fun shooty strats recently. So it's kind of a bummer that we won't get to see any of that stuff. But valiant effort and certainly a bummer.
Stage 4 is such a hard stage to beat.
Yeah, especially the later part there, it really starts getting hectic. And if you're trying to play for score and maximize every bit there, you have to take some risks. If you're playing for survival, there's ways to make the ending a little bit easier, but on strong style, a little bit easier is still really hard.
Yeah.
Nice cleanup there from Aiden. This section can be really deceptive with the enemies often fire in sort of like a 3-way where one part of the pattern is aimed at you and the other 2 parts of it are aimed away from you. and it can be really easy to wall yourself off there. So very restrained movement is actually really useful.
Especially with the super fast speed of the bullets in West gauge. That's insane. Well, Sayo is reaching stage for boss now.
Yeah. Starting to feel a little bit nervous now. Yeah. This boss fight is not always the most consistent thing, so hope it goes well.
This shouldn't be too hard. Use hyper gear to quickly destroy her. Nice. So he miscarries the
pod there.
To the boss. So that the bullets go spawn from the boss. It was quite easier.
In all versions of DFK, you can do that. You can misdirect that pod to be all the way at one side of the screen, and it will prevent the majority of its attacks from.
Oh my god! Sorry.
The slowdown. Wow.
Oh yeah. In arcade, this will have cause spike glitching.
Oh man, this is good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
so
there's Rain down.
Stage for boss now. Nice.
Now, this is really fun. For score, you're going to try to delay all three of these bees until they're flashing white. So Aiden could have just rushed up and grabbed them all in a row, but instead there was a delay between each of those to try to get more bullets on the screen, wait for them to kind of maximize the potential, and then grab the bee when it was flashing. The second bee he kind of messed up on and grabbed it when it was gold, but the first and third were grabbed when they were flashing white.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And again, for like survival, you don't need to do that. You can just run up and grab all the bees. Just another example of like you want to generate more risk when you're playing this game for score. I think it's a really nice balance of risk reward most of the time in DFKBL. Like it's very intuitive to understand that making things more dangerous contributes directly to your score. As you know, red gauge is kind of that concept manifested in a nutshell.
I think for the game that is mostly about canceling bullets. It has a lot of landing strategies around it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, a lot. I think that's why I'm kind of scared to play Black Lego because landing strategy is not exactly my best thing. But in the end, it's pretty fun to do.
Okay, so Sadio. Oh man, this mid boss is just so like the movement is so precise on it.
Yeah. Finally, this boss is patterns are very easy. You just need to get check dodge to get through it.
Well, it's easy if you have enough firepower to take it out quickly. If it makes it to the last phase, it can be kind of scary.
Oh yeah. Get attack with it's sending the tourist down at you.
Yeah.
It's just brutal.
Nice hyper there from Aiden. You don't want to be stuck between those balls.
So I think Aiden will be milking the second phase.
I suspect so, yeah. Nice B cancel there from Sadio.
Yeah, Sadio doesn't really go for scoring, so it's just crack of gold bees. Okay, now Fogan Milk from Aiden. He's gonna just hit the satellite. Hitting the satellite doesn't damage the boss. And also there's a unique king in Black Lego. So here's it. So after each cycle attack, some of the patterns will get harder with more bullets and such. This is actually something that is common in all the cave games like DaiOuJou or Ketsui.
Right.
Yeah, in other versions of Daifukkatsu, it got removed, but it's added back in Black Label. It's very nice.
Oh man, okay. Whew. There was that clutch hyper again from Sadio. And now coming up on the second part of the laser wheels.
Very nice. just destroy that building like it's mine.
Gosh, and Aiden, man, these two very intense parts of the game happening at the same time. Like the milk
Definitely.
is not easy to do, as you can see here. There's a lot of very precise dodging that needs to happen. And then at the same time, we have Saito doing the laser wheels and trying to do that no miss to make it to Zatsusa. Oh boy. All right, come on here.
So this is a her cycle now. I
Nice.
think if I remember right,
Nice.
the second phase you get tanked out after the 6th cycle. So he wants to count it
Nice.
and tank out the boss. Ooh, those precise dodging from Agen.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
And this super restrained movement here from Sadio. Really, really, really nice handling of the laser wheels there.
Yeah.
Just
Check out
again-
the building before it has any chance to spawn any shifts or tanks.
Yeah.
He's approaching the final part, the laser wheels now. Oh
It's just,
my god.
it's crazy to watch this because it's like all over the screen. Like, you know, a few seconds ago he was in the top left corner. Now he's in the bottom right. You know, done some kind of like around the world style stuff,
shit.
moving with the wheels, moving against the wheels, hypering,
Look at those
canceling the hyper.
words. What the f-
And God, Aiden just dodging this stuff like nobody's business. What is happening right now?
That 5 FPS. Holy shit.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh my gosh. What is this dodge? What is this? What are you doing? Whoa. Okay. That was cool.
What?
That was very, very cool. All right.
Okay, Saito is reaching Sky 5 second week boss or
Yeah.
Sky chip boss in Dodonpachi.
And
This guy
thankfully, Urabos, but still kind of a jerk.
Yeah, Ignis boss is extremely easy with the grapplers who will cancel them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Just hyper cancel, dead.
Yeah, to destroy his ass.
Did lose chain
Yeah.
there, but scoring is not a goal for Sadio
Yeah.
at this point. So no reason to be concerned.
Absolutely.
Hayden, meanwhile, still just at the build. Man.
How many score against having the pack now? 680 billions?
I believe so, yes.
And
Honestly,
that's not
when-
even Stage 5 yet.
Honestly, when there's that many numbers, like I can't even really process it. Like I need to stop and actually count, and I don't have time to do that right now with everything that's going on.
Same.
Another thing that I don't know if we've pointed out, the bomb stock. So when you start the game, you start with a limited number of bombs in stock. I think it's 3. And you will only gain an additional bomb slot if you get the maximum bonus from collecting a new bomb item. So I think both players have the ability to store up to 6 bomb/hyper items.
Yeah.
But that's because they've gone most of the game without taking a hit or without having to use one of those resources at the wrong time. So you have to have all of your bomb hypers in
Okay,
stock when you collect a
Saito
bomb
is,
item.
Saito is hitting by ranking the lasers. You notice most of the tanks he could shoot him. This is because in graph level, when your red rank is low or empty, some factions will not shoot bullets up top. This is also a thing occur in Higati factions, like the first faction and the second faction.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't know that.
This
Point
is a
blanking,
thing.
that second set of lasers is pretty common even in 1.5 for survival, but that first set was unusual.
Yeah, this is a thing that I think Agen will abuse later on, as he will use cycle on those lasers to gain massive amount of hits and score.
Yeah, makes sense.
And for Sario, he did it because Hunger Kingdom gives him a lot of hyper,
Right.
so he wants to recharge the hypers before the boss, escape by boss, shooty.
Yeah. Now it's time for everybody's favorite Daifukkatsu boss.
in line personally.
Shooty has a bit of a reputation for being extremely mean, especially
Definitely.
in the second loop. So, oh, this is so fun! Just the canceling right there.
Yeah, just spam hyper to get rid of the first phase easily.
Yeah,
So second phase, he's still gonna use a hyper here.
and
then
now
he will use a bomb to
Yeah.
point blank all of those spells.
and by point
he-
blanking all the drones, you build up hyper really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
So you're regenerating your resources as fast as you're using them, almost.
He will kill Shuji while she's on top of the screen. So he gets extra chance to gang with her while she goes down the screen.
Yeah,
Very nice. Use 2 bombs on Shuji.
very, very, very
Yeah.
clean.
Only going Chigi going Disaster left.
Yes.
So also guess one thing about the requirement most people often don't know is that you must go with Golden Disaster to meet Yasuza or else you need Higachi.
Oof. So he
Yeah.
still has to know Miss Golden Disaster.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
going
boy.
out of the safety zone, yeah.
Okay then.
Okay, I think at this point we'll be able to see Yasuza. I hope so.
Ooh, nice hyperless descent segment there from Aiden.
Definitely.
I wasn't sure if he did the entire descent hyperless, but that section there, and then sweeping up to grab the B and get a big cancel, that was very nice.
I believe we get back without hyper. Ooh, the laser wheels. So he just gonna gotcha
Oh.
Jigi's factions and then just spawn a few times to get Ruby's skill to faction.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. just
Does-
spawn him.
And then probably we're gonna see the drone recharge, right?
Definitely.
Okay. So yeah, during this pattern here, it spawns all these drones, and just watch that hyper meter just fly up. Generated 5 full hypers there in just a couple seconds from using that bomb and point blanking all of those drones all at once. So even though Sadio used all of those drones at the start of the all those bombs at the start of the fight, it's actually still exactly where he started in terms of resources right now, because he was able to recharge all of those resources off of the drone milker.
Oh, this subject is scary. Come on, get through it, yeah. So he wants to kill Golden Disaster with empty red gate. So that when Yasuza appears, he will have a safe spot.
Here we go.
Yeah, the red way.
The red bee. Yeah, the safe spot up here. This is really cute, right? That it only works at empty red, like you're saying.
Oh yeah, also he needs to scale if he goes to the boss because he goes a bit too far. The laser will shoot suicide bullets and he will die.
Oh, good.
Oh cool, he get the self drive because
Oh my gosh, this is so tight up at the top.
yeah.
It's like you can't even
Stop.
see because the ship is behind the hyper gates. Like, what's going on?
Wow. Going up down because fighting is
Nice.
nearly over. Damn. He still has 6 bomb left. This is really good.
Nice.
He's
That's the
got
whole
a
first
picture of
phase.
Hudson.
Wow.
He still got full bomb slot. Holy shit. I think he'll be able to defeat the boss with 2 bomb in the slot here. So it's very impressive. Let's see if he managed to do that.
The slowdown.
Yeah, got moments.
Come on.
Oh. So here he's just gonna cancel the hacker and reuse it immediately.
Yeah.
So that Hibachi's bomb shield will wear out before we wear out and he will get
And there we go. Wow.
GG. Very nice.
Wow.
That's to that moment's life, everyone.
That's absolutely absurd. All right. Congratulations to Sadio. That was nuts.
Absolutely insane. And also, oh man,
Aiden
just got correct.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
Oh man, during the Chang with Sayo, he already lost gần 3 lives, so this is hard.
Yeah.
One hit that and it's game over for Egan. Let's see if he can get to the end.
Yeah, it just goes to show how brutal this game is when you're trying to play it for score. Like, there is no room for error in these rounds.
Wow, he took his score. I got me boss with one hyper.
Yeah, that was really cool. Just the super aggressive point blanking there.
Yeah. Wow.
This is super interesting. The very rapid laser. Is that to like keep the shot laser active when he gets the kill, but also allow the shot to sway more rapidly and move more rapidly side to side with the ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I guess thing that I haven't talked about the red gauge so now. So you know that when you use shot and laser, some of the enemies will be cancelled, right?
Right.
But when you are in red mode or the red gauge is on, you can only use a shot and you cancel the enemy's bullets too. Just a shot, no need for shot and laser.
Oh.
So yeah, he just check the laser continuously to keep the red gauge from falling down.
I see.
Just gonna use a hyper here to milk enemies from the falling buildings. Oh, holy shit, that's a lot of lasers.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of danger lasers right there.
Nice. He got a bomb item which I don't know. Did he reach six bomb slot yet? I think he can catch it.
Yeah, I think he's already at 6.
Nice. Oh man, is he really gonna milk Gag with Chang? Wow.
Looks that way. Wow. Still going, like no compromise. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. He is reaching 960 billings now, so 1 trillion should be not far.
Yeah. 970 right there.
So he's approaching the critical laser far now. I assume he will be using the same strategy as Sario, but on the hyper to gain massive amount of score and hits. We will see shortly. I think he will cancel here. Yes.
Yep, there you go.
Hyper. And no enemies are shooting him. Hence to the low rate gauging.
To quote Silver Star, hyper go burr.
And nice, 1 trillion.
Oh boy.
Gonna do the same for the second set of vertical lasers. And look at the hits. 47,000 hits. Wow.
Number going up.
Hang on, going up. Yeah.
That's awesome though. Wow.
Okay, so he's gonna use oh, he's gonna do it.
Wow, already 1.1 trillion there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh man. This final part here can be scary too.
And I mean, the main reason this is worth so much, right, is that he's full chain the entire stage up to this point. So at this point, it's all just cashing out on all of the preparation that's gone into getting this far into stage 5 and maintaining this chain this whole time.
That part gives you like a general score if you have a good chain.
Oh man, still milking more bullets here right up to the end.
Got to get them scars, man.
Yeah. Although I'm worried about the shooty fight now. Like what's gonna happen there?
Yeah,
not a lot of resources right now.
One hyper bomb. And maybe 2 if you got the bomb item up. And 3 if you got the item too. We will see.
Yeah.
I think you will be able to defeat shooty.
Yeah.
I don't know about go disaster.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Wow, there's 1.3. That's crazy. That's like 150 billion just from that ending section.
This one will do the same as Sario, defeating the first phase with Hyper Span.
Okay, so another hyper was just generated right there. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll get at least 1 or 2 more from the drones here.
Oh. Come on, don't touch now. You'll be using a bomb here.
Yep.
Nice.
And there's 2. Come on.
Since yeah.
Yeah, okay, nice. Oh!
No. He doesn't have a bomb left to kill her. That's good.
That was a fantastic score though. Wow.
1.48 trillion. That is.
Well, that's the high score. The run here I think was 1.33 or something.
Okay.
But still, remarkably good run. Very cool to see scoring like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, scoring over 1 trillion is just something that is really hard to do. So GG to both Sairo and Aigen.
Yeah,
and Silver
absolutely.
Star.
GG to all players. Yeah. Real bummer that Silver Star's run ended the way that it did, but amazing that they were able to be part of this event, and really cool to see this game played in 2 very different ways. You know, we had players demonstrating the scoring and how like uncompromising and brutally punishing it can be, and then another player demonstrating some mostly survival focused strategies and just pushing that to the absolute limit with no bomb, you know, no miss, no miss all the way through Zanzusa. So wow, that was remarkable.
This is really
1.31.
Wow. 1.21 trillion. This one guy I can score to get level 1.
Wow.
Man, it was such a joy to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Cool to see DFK getting, especially DFKBL getting shown at events a little bit more often recently. I think this game kind of got a bad rap from the community for a few years, but there's so much here and there's so much to love about this game and all the different things that it offers. So it's really cool to see, you know, getting representation at different streams recently. And to see Black Label strong like this, like it's a pretty uncommon thing for people to even play because it's so brutally difficult at the outset. But to see it played at a very high level like this is really inspiring. So
definitely.
DFK gang.
Thanks a little bit. I don't know how familiar you are with this game.
Not much at all. I mean, I've seen a little bit of it played, but I've never actually played it.
Yeah, the main system, of course, is the border system, which is kind of doubles as the live system. You don't have lives. Whenever you die, you drop to a different border. And this player actually started on red border, which means they have no lives effectively. But by scoring well for each stage, you will then have the option to border up or gain a life. And this is vital to controlling rank, to controlling what route you take, and then essentially score too.
And have you played Under Defeat? Because that's the same developer, right?
Yeah, I have. I've got a one all on that. The second loop's pretty tough on that one.
Yeah. So, what are the key differences between the two of these games? I thought that might be interesting to learn a bit about.
Honestly, there's really not that many similarities to the game.
Oh.
They're
I guess
very,
how are they
very
similar
different
then?
games. Yeah, this one is very much an homage to Metal Black and to G. Darius, as you'll see with the beam battle right here.
Right.
And Under Defeat's more of kind of the classic vertical.
Yeah, and you fly around in a chopper. It looks pretty crazy. I need to play a little bit more Under Defeat. Both games
it's
have
super fun.
Really good soundtracks.
Getting to this run right here, there's actually a lot of nuances that go into the scoring and the kind of the routing of this game. You'll notice that little meter in the bottom.
Yes.
That is vital to both scoring and survival. That's your it's called a norm. meter or gauge, I'm not sure, but it's that's basically your score quota that you have to get in order to gain a life after the stage.
And what is the primary scoring mechanic, as in what you're mostly looking to do to get score?
Mainly it's going to be bullet canceling with the break beam, the laser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you absorb bullets, which then you'll see increases the multiplier, and then whenever you kill an enemy, the score from that enemy is then multiplied by how many bullets you have in your current count. And then that gauge right there, the laser level, is of course how much you can use your beam, but it also controls your shot power. So it's kind of a risk-reward thing.
Yeah. And is the beam a charge, or is it just a weapon that you use, like a button, or do you have?
No, it's just a button.
Okay.
It doubles as kind of your bomb. The first 4 seconds while you hold the beam, you're totally invincible, but you can hold it for as long as you have charge. So you can hold it for quite a long time.
Oh,
but
nice.
After that 4 seconds, you can get killed.
You know, just looking at it, the game sort of reminds me a fair amount of Gradius 5, just the way the level design sort of looks.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that one, but this game is just really, really well made. It's got super high production values. You can tell that it's made by a veteran team.
Yeah.
Here's a milk point right here. He's basically just going to absorb these lasers as much as he can until he gets really low, and he's probably going to suicide here shortly after. Yep, there he goes.
There he goes. So what did the suicide accomplish?
Okay, looks like almost certainly going to be going for a 6D clear, which is the hardest route. That's the other big thing about this game is the routes. In order to get to the different stages, it depends on how long you stay on each border. So to get to 6D, you need to have 50% of the stage clears on red border. For 6C, 50% on yellow. For 6B, 50% on green. And then for 6A, you have to have none of them above 50%. So that means you just need a good mix of scores. Or you have to not get the norm clears, and that's the other thing. In addition to getting 50% on whatever border, you have to meet the score quota on at least 4 of the 5 stages.
And how hard is that? Just like route-wise, for instance, is this something that it's going to take a lot of practice to hit those score quotas, or is it something that is once you kind of get it down, it's fairly consistent?
I would say it's very consistent, actually. The score quotas aren't too terribly difficult to hit. It mostly consists in just most bosses will have a point where they shoot out just a ton of lasers, and you can just beat them, finish them off with that multiplier. And then some stages, like these laser wheels, you can just absorb them for quite a bit of points. Right. But the great majority of your score is going to come from milking certain points to the bosses and the beam battles and stuff like that. Also, for scoring is the timer. You'll notice whenever the boss comes up, there's a timer. That also plays a big part in the score. You want to always finish the boss as close to 0 seconds as possible.
Really?
Yep. So, under 30 seconds, you start to get a bonus score, and that increases at certain intervals. But the highest score total is from -3 seconds to 15 seconds.
So it's like the opposite of Ketsui, where Ketsui wants you to kill the bosses as fast as possible with the timer. This timer wants you to delay the kills for as long as possible?
Yeah, it's basically telling you, hey, you need to milk these.
Interesting.
But yeah, and then once you get past -3 seconds, you start to actually lose score. I believe you can lose quite a bit once it gets further on. I may be wrong on that, though. But yeah, you'll see sometimes he ignores the beams, doesn't do a lot of damage because he's just trying to time the boss out, trying to get that timer lower so he can finish it right at the perfect time.
Sorry, just getting our background music back going. It was cutting out for some reason.
A couple other notes about this game. You can actually adjust your speed whenever you want, and you can touch walls for about 3 or 4 seconds. You can scrape it, but less time with the higher speed. The first 2 stages aren't terribly difficult. You'll start to see some good. Yeah, he's going to finish off this first phase here with a big break multiplier. Yep, going on to the second phase.
Oh, yeah, I see it right there. So, I'm guessing, is it kind of a risk-reward where you have to kill them just before they time out?
Yes, definitely. And you also are... Your managing your break level too. Yeah, he's going to finish the boss with a big beam battle right here.
Reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's I don't know if you've gotten into Metal Black, but it's straight out of Metal Black.
Oh, I've seen a little bit. I haven't played too much.
Yeah, this game's hugely influenced by Metal Black. Yeah, and see, since he met the score, he can border back up to yellow. One thing to note too is the borders aren't just your lives. Say, instantly suicided to get back down to red. It's interesting. Usually, you kind of go a little bit further on and maybe on the second, but I don't know what his route is.
What's the advantage of suiciding earlier versus waiting?
I guess it just depends on what your route is. Each stage is broken up into 2 phases. So technically, each stage is 3. There's the first half, the second half, and then the boss.
Okay.
Depending on what your route is, you will decide basically where. If this was a full-on scoring run, he would go to the end of this first phase and try and cash out as much of his laser as he could. But I think this is just a straight-up survival on the hardest route.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. One thing to note though is the different borders are not just your lives. Also, the stages will be completely different. Like in the green route, you'll be in an asteroid belt. In the yellow route, you'll be going like across the tops of the battleship, whereas in this one, you'll eventually go up inside the battleship.
Oh, that's cool.
And also, the bosses will be different too. Sometimes they'll just have different phases, different patterns, but sometimes it'll be a totally different boss, like on this one. We unfortunately won't get to see a really cool boss. Oh, here's a big milk right here. Yeah. Gosh, that went out pretty good. But this one has a pretty notorious boss. If you're going along kind of like the newbie player route, just sticking to the green border,
yeah,
you get to the second phase of the boss, and it is just an absolute wall. It is almost completely memo.
The bullet patterns in this game are interesting. I'm trying to figure what they were.
Okay, that was not on purpose.
That's gonna be a reset.
That is the difficulty of this game. There is 0 margin for error.
Kind of reminds me of Grega or Batrider, where you always have to. Looks like you always have to keep yourself just with one extend or with a low amount of extends. Is that about right?
Well, if you're on the red, he's changing his border now. If you're on, it's kind of a balance actually. If you stay to the green border and to go to the top route, keep your 3 extends. Okay, he's going to border back down to red. This is the more reasonable way to do things. But anyway, if you stay on the green border, you have more lives, but the rank is just going to get out of control because you're not dying at all.
Interesting.
But so it's technically easier on the red route because you have better rank control. And
okay.
I think a lot of the stages are actually easier on red, but you have no lives.
That is interesting. It is like Grega.
Yeah, it's
like
really,
exactly
really
like
well-made game.
It's funny.
The balance is really good. One other thing to note too is by tapping the shot button, you're going to get this little this homing shot, and if you hold it down, you get the forward shot. You may be having some cabinets, I think, have separate buttons for it. I'm not sure. I just used auto fire and then 2 separate buttons, but
that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's a pain otherwise. Okay, he's not spending a whole lot of time milking. He's just trying to go for the clear now. Some of the runs I saw, you can actually hold off on that one for a good little while and get like over a 200 break.
Back inside the space station or whatever this is.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The story is, I'm not really sure about it, but I know the first 3 stages are like a simulation. And then once you get to the 4th stage, it's like warning, and then like the actual battle happens.
Right,
That's do that. Yeah,
I noticed that's like a theme in a lot of shmups. Like, I think Refereeing is kind of like that as well, where you're playing inside a simulation.
I think Image Fight does that too. But yeah, he started off on green for this run and suicided twice immediately just to get that rank dropped a little bit. I'm not sure if this is true, but I've read that by dying early, the rank gain is lowered for the rest of the run, but I can't really confirm that.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yes, you're talking about the patterns in this game. They don't necessarily look too difficult, but your hitbox is fairly large, and the patterns can get pretty mean, especially later on in the game. They require some pretty precise movement.
I guess it kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe Blazing Star, kind of a little bit. Something like that. Polestar, Blazing Star, that family of shmup.
Well, that is a really good beam battle he's got going on there. He did it on perfect time to 2.4 seconds. Yeah, he went over. He'll end up with 5 times the required score for this stage.
Nice. And
yeah, it also
just because of the boss fight or all the other stuff.
Well,
too?
That was a big part of it, but you also get a bonus for every bullet you've absorbed throughout the entire stage.
Oh, okay. So he's on yellow route, so we're expecting to see a suicide relatively soon to get back down to red?
I would assume probably in the second phase, possibly into the boss, depending on how his route is. There's quite a few different ways you can plan it out, but you really need to know what you're going to do before you start the run. You can't really wing this game. It's nothing worse than having what you think is a perfect run and then dying at the wrong section on stage 3 and then coming out onto like 6B versus 6A. Yeah, they're not afraid to shoot at you from behind in this game either.
Oh boy. Do you have any sort of defensive weapons? It looks like the homing shot can kind of go backwards a little bit.
Yeah, it can a little bit. The homing is not really strong at all. It can take out some popcorn enemies, but mainly it's just the break laser, and you got to use that invulnerability. And you can actually fly straight through the enemies, which you'll end up seeing that later. Yeah, he's playing super safe here, completely full break laser. I'm sure he'll milk this a little bit. You pretty much have to.
Do you have any experience with the arcade version? Like, is there any significant differences between it and the Dreamcast version that you're aware of?
Oh, there's the suicide. As far as I know, the Dreamcast port is pretty accurate. Just from looking at it, I don't see really any difference at all.
Because some of them, like Mars Matrix, are fairly different, but
now, as far as I know, this is a pretty faithful port.
Yeah. No differences, Dell's reporting. Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Because some of the Dreamcast games basically ran on the Dreamcast, just the arcade version of it, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing. I know some emulators you can pretty much tell it to emulate Naomi versus just the Dreamcast.
Right, exactly. For some whatever reason, you're able to actually emulate Lucy on those Naomi emulators.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it runs on it, but you're able to do that for some reason.
Yeah, when I planned out my route, even for getting to the easy route, it took a while to figure out exactly where I wanted to have my planned deaths.
Yes, that's interesting.
All that kind of stuff.
When you're playing, is there any sort of indication of the rank, or is it just sort of you just need to know type of thing?
Yeah, there's not really any indication. I mean, once you have your route picked out, you're pretty much locked into it. You're not really gonna decide, the rank's too high, and then decide you need to suicide. You need to know ahead of time exactly what your route's gonna be.
I see.
And that kind of taking the rank into account as part of the route planning as well.
Found a nice little safe spot there.
Yeah, he wants to take out that part of the boss so it doesn't shoot the bombs at him. Yeah, for example, on mine route, I would die once on stage 1, go back up to green, and then make it to this boss and then die twice, just to get the appropriate amount of borders.
Softdrink was saying that the cave PCBs use a similar CPU to the Naomi, so that's why you could emulate it. That's interesting.
Okay.
I don't think it emulates all that well, but you can do it. Ooh.
Yeah, see, if this was a scoring run, he would not be sitting on a full break laser for most of these stages.
Right.
This is one of those games also where it really doesn't get difficult till about 15 minutes in.
Oh yeah. I remember someone, I think Dingo, was talking about that when he was first playing this game, where he's like, "Oh, this is pretty easy," and then all of a sudden the game's like, "No, okay, now we're gonna get hard."
Yeah, the stage 3 boss is the first pretty crazy part, and then from stage 4 on, it just gets pretty mean.
Oh,
Yeah,
6
you still
second
had
kill there.
Yeah, even without playing for high score, you have to play for a decent score. They got it a pretty good time there, pretty good break.
How
Easily
does
met the
the
norm.
extend system work in the game?
It's the norm. By filling up that gauge, it's the border system, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, it says under each one, life 1, life 2, etc.
There's the suicide again.
Suicide. Yeah, since he's going for 6D, he needs to get a lot of clears on red border.
Great looking background here.
Oh yeah, and it's pretty cool. If you looked, I can't remember if it's like that, if you can see it on the red border, but you can actually see the ships on the yellow and green borders flying around, blowing stuff up. Nice little touch.
So what is a border like in the game's logic? Is it like a sector of attack or that you're supposed to, like, what is alternate dimension? What is a border?
I don't know what the actual meaning of the border is, but it's just basically a route. There's technically 3 different ships. I can't remember. I want to say that it's like one person is controlling all the ships, like through some sort of like cybernetic something or other.
Nice.
But the ending is not super well translated, so it gets a little confusing.
Here we go. You said this was a milk earlier.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good one right there. I'm actually a little surprised that he died on this section. This is not really one of the harder parts. Maybe a little bit of nerves.
Yeah, probably.
I'd say the first real trial doesn't start until after, well, really this boss that's coming up shortly. This is a really cool section, though, going inside the ship.
While you're talking, I'll go ahead and try and pull up the timer on the overlay. I'm curious to see how far along he's gotten.
I can't remember if I mentioned it, but just by destroying enemies fills up the laser level. And occasionally you'll see those crates that drop items that you can use to get a good chunk of your laser level back as well. Here's the battleship core. Pretty cool little section. This part can actually be a little bit difficult, not because of the patterns, but because of the explosions and the screen shaking so much. You sometimes lose enemies or bullets.
Oh,
he actually,
blend in.
I guess he milked it long enough so it absorbed so many waves. Here's the first wall.
Okay, got the timer pulled up here. So he's got 7 minutes left before he's locked out.
It's an interesting save spot. I didn't know you could actually go on that corner. The patented Taito lasers.
Yep.
This is very much a Taito game. It's a little bit of memo. Not too bad. This one you can dodge.
I'm assuming then that the Studio G Rev is related to Taito in some way?
Oh yeah, it's all ex-Taito veterans.
Ah, okay.
I believe the lead director from Metal Black and G. Darius went on to work on this game. Maybe not the lead director. Some people that worked on those games, and of course Yak, who did the music for Metal Black, did the music for this game as well.
Ah, so that's the connection. I do like that soundtrack a lot.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. If you'll notice, the enemy boss here is actually a clone of your ship with some, connected to that.
Oh, I see that.
Whatever
yeah.
that is. You can see the other one flying in the background. That section's actually going to be a little bit tricky. Some of the lasers are a little bit odd the way that they spawn.
It's weird that save spot works. It doesn't look like it should.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that you could do that. He's timing this boss down. Oh, and your laser does very, very slowly. Oh, he completely timed it out.
I wonder if that was intentional. It looked like it.
Yeah, so it's just for safety. Now, I'm wondering if he's going to do... There's a
patterns
that you can do for one of the phases on this boss where you can get basically a 999 multiplier. One of the replays I saw, he didn't do it all the way, but he may do it on this one. It's not terribly difficult to do. You just got to know the timing. He's already met the score quota, so he doesn't really have to do it. But he may be going for it. He could have finished the boss there. That was a tight squeeze. Oh, here we go.
No,
nope, he's just going.
Oh, he's going for the kill. Let's see.
You
3, 2, 1. Wow.
Very good time.
Right
yeah,
there.
If you sit with your brake laser in the bottom of the screen, you can absorb an immense amount of bullets. You just get a huge score. But he's just going for the clear. Yeah, now the simulation ends and the real battle begins.
Okay, now it's real.
The thing about going for the red route is the red for the second half of this stage is so much easier than on green or yellow. We'll see if he actually goes for that. I'm sure that he will.
Oh, interesting. So why doesn't he, because I don't understand the game mechanics, why doesn't he play the green route for a while and then die, drop to the yellow, die, drop to the red? Is it because of the rank buildup?
He did on the first stage, but you can only go up one border.
Oh, okay. So he can't go up to green.
Yeah, he would have to go to yellow and then go through the whole stage without dying and then go back up to green after that.
Oh, I see.
And by doing that, your rank would increase because you're not dying.
Right.
So while you'd be alive, you'd have more rank.
There it goes.
I think that wasn't... I think I saw him do that. Yeah, okay. He skipped to the second phase. It's kind of weird. The second half of the red border is the same as like the first half of the yellow border.
Lazy.
For
lazy
yeah.
boys.
But it's the second half for green and yellow are a very, very hard mid-boss fight. It's like a battleship that just shoots out just tons of enemies at you with really nasty patterns.
What's the startup on that invulnerable laser attack? Is it a long startup?
No, I think the invulnerability starts basically right away.
Oh, okay. So you can really use it like a panic laser or like a panic bomb, like, oh crap, I'm about to get hit, laser.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's basically instant. But you have to remember that it doesn't stay invulnerable for the whole time you use a laser.
Right.
And that can come into play on certain bosses. Yeah, it's kind of funny on the green border, which you think is the easiest, has the same final boss as in 6B as in 6A, until you get to the very, very last pattern on the final phase of the boss, and it is just absolutely brutal.
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah,
they save the last pattern to just melt you away.
Oh, here's the ramen bowl, as it's known in Japan. And I think it looks like a speaker cone to me.
Yeah, I see it.
Super fun boss.
They're all about the ramen, huh?
This is one of my favorite bosses. It's a really fun fight. Lots of safe spots, lots of fun dodging. Pretty cool background too.
Yeah, you're sort of rotating around this satellite, it looks like.
Yeah, and the red route, this boss just kind of appears out of nowhere, but on the green and yellow, it's the nose cone of that giant battleship that detaches when you destroy it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Art. Oh yeah, the spin.
Ooh, I thought he got hit there for a sec.
This part's actually kind of easy. Sometimes you actually have to hold off on killing it if you want to get the timer.
Right.
So yeah, he's going to actually have to. He needs quite a bit of score from this boss. 3/4 of the total score he's going to have to get.
Yeah, so he's going to have to take his time a little bit here.
Because there's still another phase after this one. Okay, yeah, going on to the second phase, which he's going to time out for a little bit longer.
And he's got 10 seconds to reset. 9, 8.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's going to get a reset after this. Not too hard, but still, that hitbox on that ship is not small. All right, here comes the milk and the cash out.
5, 4, 3. Oh, great
Perfect.
timing there.
Oh yeah.
So what happens if you don't hit your score requirement? Did it just switches you over to a different route, or?
No, you stay on the route that you're on.
Ah, okay.
Which effectively means you don't get an extend.
I see.
And your rank then starts to increase. So he says, even if you get the extend, you're going to cash it out.
Okay, I'm starting to get. It's coming together now. It's coming together in my head.
A very strategic game.
Yeah. So you get the score requirement to go up a level, and then you play that level for a little bit, and then suicide to drop the rank, to drop down back to red, and then get the score requirement to go back up to yellow, and rinse repeat. It sounds like
that's it. However, on this stage, he's not going to want to suicide because he's gonna. This is the last regular stage, and he needs all his lives for the final.
Ah, okay. So now he's playing to win.
Yep, and this stage can get mean. Those enemies that you just saw that shot the beam, they're basically just there to waste your break power and lower your shot power. If you go into the stage with less than 3, it can be really hard, and it can be pretty much an uphill battle.
Oh, I hate when that happens. When you go into a stage and you're like, wait, that happens in Toplan games too, where if you die and you go into a later stage with like no power-ups, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it feels awful trying to be at 1 power level and just get through. It's a struggle. You have a pretty good amount of firepower at 4 and 5. Here's a fun section, which has a safe spot I'm sure he'll use. And he's essentially locked into 60 at this point. You can see under the break level, there's that red gauge.
Yes.
Oh yeah, here's the safe spot. Get a little bit of rest. But that red gauge shows how much he's spent on red border, and it's well over 50%. So pretty much no matter what happens, he's going to end up on 60. This is another stage where the green route is by far the hardest.
I feel like this era of shmups did the most with experimenting with like 3D effects and 3D perspectives and stuff.
Yeah, this one, they really perfected it. Some of those early ones were a bit painful to play, like Ray Storm being the number 1 offender.
Axelay with the mode 7.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, on the other routes, you actually had to fight those pedal things, and they can be pretty nasty. we're coming up on the most, I guess you could say, Taito-esque boss ever. You have to execute it to perfection. This is just there's a replay of the stage 1 boss, but the end boss of the stage requires machine-like precision in how you execute it.
That's crazy that you basically have to just play with one extend the entire time.
Yeah, it's once you get to stage 5, you can technically die, since you're kind of locked in.
Yeah.
But up to that point, there's no room for error. Yeah, this is a fight where if you don't know what to do, you will just get walled. It's essentially a wall.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah, he's going to take out the middle parts, and then you have to take out the turrets in sequence so they spawn on top of each other. If they start to get out of sync, it can get really nasty.
Oh.
But everything spawns at the same amount of time, so you can get it to where you get to kind of a rhythm. And you definitely do not want to actually kill this phase. You want to milk these as long as you can, and not for score either, but to get power. She actually already met the score quota, which is pretty good.
Oh. How does it give you more power?
Killing enemies just gives you more power.
Oh, okay.
You need as much power as possible for the second phase.
I'm assuming your power completely resets upon death. Is that right?
It resets to 3, I think.
Oh.
He's making it look easy because he's doing it properly. If you don't immediately take out those turrets as soon as they spawn, you're dead. Unless you're just like a dodging machine.
Oh yeah, those bendy lasers, those are always fun.
Oh, that wasn't good. He messed up the clear a little bit. Yeah, he's a little bit out of sync now. Hopefully he can recover. Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's about impossible to see how difficult it really is until you try it yourself.
Right, because he's just taking things
out. Oh yeah, he's a little
suppressive.
Things
fire.
Are getting a little scary now.
I noticed the timer on this boss is pretty huge, so I'm assuming it goes on forever. Phases. Yeah, his power's getting a little bit low too. Okay, there he goes. But now he's only got 1 power for the final phase, and whenever you're that low, you can't use your break laser. Oh crap!
It's going to be a little tight.
And if he dies, does he have an extra extend, or is he game over?
He has 1 extend. He's guaranteed if he clears it to get another extend. Okay. So it's not the end of the run if he dies, but you want those lives for that last phase of the stage. Yeah, this is another one of those ones where if you let it get out of control, it gets nasty, and he's barely hanging on. One thing that's interesting is while the bosses will use their lasers on set times, you can kind of induce them to use the laser. If you shoot your beam at them and they get to a certain amount of health, they'll pretty much always shoot a beam back.
Oh, nice.
He's gonna need to finish it so he doesn't lose too much score. He has no power left.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's getting a little scary.
I assume so. When it goes to negative time, I assume that's when it times out, but it doesn't look like it.
I think it goes. I don't know what the limit is. But, okay, he's going to end up losing some score, but I think he got such a high break that he'll still get the norm. And either way, he's going to end up with at least 2 lives. Yeah, I'm not sure at which point the boss just times out. Ooh, see, he lost as much, actually more score than he had gotten from the break, but since he had already met the quota, it didn't end up mattering too much.
That's interesting. So if it goes into negative, it actually punishes your score.
Yeah, after 3 seconds, for every, I think 3 to 5 seconds after that, you'd lose quite a bit of score.
That's crazy. So final stage?
Yep, final stage with a crazy boss.
And he's on
The stage itself
border.
is... Yeah, at this point, the borders don't matter. If you die, it doesn't send you back. You just continue.
Locked in.
Yep, this is it. The stage itself is not too terribly bad. The only real things to watch out for are those big beam enemies if you're low on power like he is, and the replica ships here. If you let them survive, they shoot some extremely fast lasers at you.
Oh boy.
But he seems to have things under control now, building up quite a bit of power. And score essentially doesn't matter on this stage either, because you can't do anything with it unless you're just going for a high score.
Just pure survival now.
Yep. Oh, that was interesting. Maybe showing off a little bit.
Yeah.
This final boss.
You can definitely tell the enemy count's ramping up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, since he hasn't been able to suicide in 2 stages, the rank is definitely shot up. And here he comes.
Gets a cutscene and everything.
Yeah, really cool final boss. This is a fight where if you don't know what's coming, you're gonna die. It's very memo heavy, at least in my opinion.
Oh, the final boss is like your doppelganger.
Yeah. One interesting thing about this game too, here's a free power-up section. And the Dreamcast port, you have a really robust training mode. You can practice any section at any border, except for the finals. You cannot practice the final stages.
Oh boy. Well, I guess there's save states emulators.
Yeah, that's definitely what I did. Yeah, some of these patterns are just absolutely nasty. But he's got enough lives, I think he can do it. Oh, that was a huge cash out right there.
So if you die and respawn, does that reset your laser level as well?
Yeah, I think it puts you at either 2.5 or 3. Phase 2. 3 ships, and you have to fight all 3. Those shots come out faster than you could possibly dodge them. You just have to not be there. Oh, that was a nice one right there. I always forget that you can move through them.
Who would have think? I would have never thought that could be done.
No. Ooh, got a little messy there. Hey, he doesn't have a lot of power now. Oh, here's a fun one.
Oh, this reminds me of like a Toho pattern or something.
Yeah, there's a couple of these in Toho. Although it's a little bit harder with the this ship.
Yeah, massive hitbox.
I think the hitbox is just that silver part on the bottom of the ship. It's still kind of hard to estimate, but... Now he has this under control. He hasn't done a whole lot of damage, though. I wonder if he'll try and time this one out. He's still got almost 3 minutes to go.
At this rate, probably.
Oh, it does have a different one. Yeah, it's crazy how many unique patterns there are in just this fight. Yeah, where 6B is kind of a harder version of 6A, where you fight actually a completely different boss as a giant core.
Interesting.
6C is kind of an easier version of this fight.
So is this one of the harder or easier final bosses?
This is definitely the hardest.
Oh, okay.
It's debatable whether 6C or 6B is harder, but this one is Yeah, this one's really hard. Again, he's making it look fairly easy, but this has taken a lot of practice, I'm sure.
Yeah. It does seem to take a long time too.
Yeah, he's building up power. I think he is going to try and get a good score. He could probably finish it right now with a beam if he wanted to. Yeah, 6A is the only boss that you could probably reasonably go into and get a clear, and even then it's not super easy. On to the final. One of the runs I watched, one of the patterns in this fight. Oh, that was fast. Got him. See if he can make it through this time.
So he's got to hang in there for about 50 more seconds.
Yep. Oh, that's actually. Oh. I don't know if that was intentional. Oh, here we go. Worst pattern in the game. He's going to use his beam. Where it comes from on the side of the screen is completely random, and it can come from straight up behind you or straight up beside you.
You just got to keep that hand on that beam.
Yeah, and getting through that pattern, I mean, you've got to really fit in there. Oh yeah, he's gonna get the cash out.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Yeah, here it goes. Got it.
Impressive stuff.
Yeah, very, very nice clear. I'm not sure if that last death was intentional or not, but either way.
Either way, he had plenty to work with.
And got the norm even on the final stage.
Excellent. Very confident awesome. Gameplay there.
Yeah, this game requires confidence. You can't fudge your way through this one.
Yeah, that was awesome. Well, thanks for hopping on and helping with commentary.
Yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, came in the last minute right when I needed you because I couldn't find anyone who knew too much about the game, so I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a shame. Hopefully after this, maybe some more people will get interested in it and try and play it.
Definitely.
All right, well, thanks for having me, and enjoy the rest of Shmupslam. Or, Shmupmania. Shmupslam's later in the year.
Shmupslam, yeah. Definitely enjoy Shmupslam, though.
All right, well, have a good one.
Yeah, yes, you too. Well, guess what, Stream? There's going to be some sort of hidden secret run in like an hour or something. But I'm not staying up that late because that's going to be like 4 o'clock in the morning for me, and I'm exhausted as is. It would just be me. I wouldn't have much to contribute at that point. I'm just burned out. Time zones can be brutal. But we got all the official runs covered for the English Restream. I really appreciate everyone stopping by and tuning in. I know the breaks in between the runs can be absolutely brutal. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream, and then I'm going to take all the gameplay sections like I did with yesterday and render them in one big video and then upload it tomorrow morning. So I hope you all enjoyed. Adios, everyone.